Yo, 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 what is up? What is up? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Great to be here. Great to see you all here on this May 30th, 2023. It's almost over, folks, and it's going quick. Thank you all for joining me today. I can't wait to get into this show today, guys. We're continuing from yesterday. It was a bit of a cliffhanger at the end of the show now, wasn't it? I'm sure you're all wanting to know where we're going next. Got some documents to look at that we've been wanting to look at for a while now. I'm excited. Hope you are too. So let's get the show on the road. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? How we doing today? Good to see you. Good to be here. Good to have you here. Hope everybody's having a great start to their day. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is. I hope it's good for you because it's good for me. Great to be here with you guys once again. I appreciate you guys so very much. Oh my God, come on. There we go. Hope you guys had a great night last night and a great start to your day today. As I said, let's see who we got in the house with us today. Miss Bonnie Bailey, good to see you. Leah Story, thanks for joining us. Always happy to see Mrs. M. Thank you for joining us. The lovely Miss Brandy, the OG, thanks for joining us, Brandy. Viv Keenan, great to see you. My brother Lance, great to have you here. Let me see. Joe's in the house. Great to see you, Joe. Miss Ann, great to see you. Noni's here. Great to have you here, Noni. Thanks for joining us. Miss Sherry Wisdom Speaks is in the house. Canadian True Crime Buff. Great to have you here. Let me see. Who am I? No Chains, no Mo. Great to have you here. Good to see you. Well, Miss Carolyn, welcome. Good to have you here as always. Kara Willis, great to see you. Great to have you here. I just finished watching your live. Your short. Great job, Kara. Great job. KP's in the house. Good to have you. Lynn69, always happy to see you. KCY, great to see you. Quartz and Cole, great to have you here. Amethyst Snore, great to see you. I love your guys' names. Really do. Let me see. Am I missing any? Bobby J's in the house. Good to see you. Higher Ground, welcome back. Good to have you here. D Smalls, first one here. Good to see you. Higher Ground. CL's here. Welcome, CL. Good to have you here. Salty's here. Good to see you. Mr. Eddie, one maiden nut. I got it right. How about that? Good to see you, Eddie. Thanks for joining us. Salty. And the phone starts ringing as always. Good to have you guys all here. One moment, guys. Let me set this up. All right, folks. Sorry about that. That was Mrs. Dago trying to remind me of something. Jilly Bean, good to see you. Gordon Shumway, welcome, brother. Good to have you. Miss Vicky, good, great to see you. I think that is it, folks. For now, as they come in, guys, you know what I'm about to say. Please leave some DNA on that like button for me. Please share this out to anybody, everybody you can think of to share it out to, guys. We got 91 people in here and 29 likes. Let's fix that, folks, if you would, so we can get out into that algorithm, guys. Thank you so much, Miss Brandy. Once again, folks, this is a fully crowd-funded channel. You guys are what makes me guy. That keeps me coming to you guys every single day. Anybody wanting to donate to support the channel, there are the links for Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. Thank you so very much for that. I do appreciate that so very much. Again, that keeps me coming out here every single solitary day to sit and hang out with you guys and talk about what we talk about. I do appreciate that. Thank you so very much. I swear I just saw somebody new pop in here. Oh, there's Mojo. Good to see you, Mojo. Thanks for joining us today. Again, Jilly Bean, great to see you. I'm so sorry, Miss Jilly Bean. I hope you have a better day. Hopefully we can make that better for you. I will go and look into that today. Remind me, Gordon, when I get back, because I have so many emails. I may have not seen it. I hope if it's under that name, I will find it, my friend. No worries. Right. I hope you guys are all having a great start to your day. Hopefully, it can get better hanging out with me. That is my hope. Self-aware. What's up, Miss Sylvia? Great to see you. Thank you, Miss Brandy. I appreciate that as well. Anybody that should choose to want to become a member, it is only $2.99, and you get the exclusive rights to the Discord and some other perks that we have as well, guys. They will grow as we grow for sure. Margaret Hoper, good to see you. Hello from Texas. It's got to be hot because it's hot here. I know it's hot there. Mags is in the house. Great to see you, Mags. Thanks for joining us. Cold as ice. No change. I hope you feel better soon. Absolutely. Cold as ice is in the house too. Great to see you. So, with all you guys jumping in here, guys, we are going to be continuing what we started with yesterday. We got some stuff to look at, to listen to, and I did find, Mama Bear found, I should say, the affidavit I wanted to look through. I wanted to read through Blaker's statement. Blaker's himself, okay? Not the other officers, but what Blaker put down. I want to read that for a reason, folks, because we didn't get to see that. And it just makes me want to look at some things as we've been digging and looking at some things that we hadn't seen. There's other things that seem to be popping up all around. I went over last night and I was watching Miss Lana. She had a great live stream going on, a great show in regards to the vehicle and verbiage, guys. Again, I've told all you guys how important verbiage is in language. When listening to a law enforcement official or anybody that's talking about a scenario like this, the verbiage, the way that they're stating what they're saying, the how can I put it, the things that they're saying and how they're saying it, okay, is very, very important, as we've all seen. Atlanta made a great point, few great points I had stated in there. It was a great stream. I was very pleased with it. As always, Lena always puts on a great show. Over at Truth and Transparency. And she was talking about something that Chief Fry had said. Makes a lot of sense if you sit back and you think about it, folks. She was talking about the way that he had stated at the one press conference that they really wish they would have gotten, I'm not using his exact words, but choice of words. Great way to put it, Leah. His choice of words, the way he stated it. Like Lana said, you sit back and you go, wait a minute, holy shit, let's listen to that again. And he said, it would have been really nice to have received a call sooner. But like she said, how? How could you have gotten that call sooner? Unless you knew that it needed to be made. And basically what she was stating was, he wished, knowing that that call needed to be made, in a sense. That's the way he made it sound, is what she was saying. It sounds like he knew that the call needed to be made and wished it would have happened sooner. Well, how can you say that unless you know something? Because according to him, he didn't. Then she starts talking about the timeline when Steve stated that they received the call, and like Lana said, you know, East Coast and West Coast, two different time zones, and things happen differently. Over here where we're at, Ohio and the East Coast area and stuff like that, she's talking about football. We start watching football around 1 o'clock on Sundays, right? 1 o'clock game, 4 o'clock game, 8 o'clock game, for those of you that are in football. West Coast, it's a little different. They start at like 10, okay? And then I think it goes from 10 to 2, and then like 6 o'clock or something like that. So the timings are different. So the timing, folks, the timing. She made great points with that. Like the timing of these phone calls. It makes you think. It really makes you think. So, I was impressed with that live stream. Thank you once again, Lana. Always a great show. Appreciate it very much so. You make a point, Noni. And I'm not saying that Chief Fry lies, okay? But when he's not telling, let me put this in a nice way to be respectful. When you're not telling the absolute truth, okay, maybe you're trying to nice it up, or you're trying to put something to the side a little bit as to not, get anybody riled up. Maybe he doesn't tell the complete truth per se, or maybe he leaves something out. Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Donna. Appreciate that. And welcome. Evie Marie, great to see you. There you go, Sylvia. What is said, how it is said, when it is said, and also what is not said. And don't forget why it is said. And that's it right there. Good to see you, Rose. Thank you. Absolutely, Rose. I agree. Yeah, absolutely, Leah. So good to see you, Aristocrat. And here's the thing, folks. I'm not coming down on Chief Fry. Okay. I have the utmost respect for law enforcement when I should, which is not always, but when I should. I had relatives, very close relatives that have been in law enforcement for years. My whole family, pretty much. So, at one point in time, I was going to be a law enforcement officer, but it just didn't happen. So, it is what it is. I became a firefighter instead. I was still in that group, but anyway. So, I understand that they need to twist the truth at times to save maybe the integrity of the case and keep it on the DL, for lack of better terms, until they can get what they need out of it, right? My brother Mikey's in the house. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for joining us. So, that being said, the way he said it that day, I never thought about it until Lana drew our attention to it. And she's absolutely right. Why would you make that comment unless you had a reason to say that? And people can say, oh, you're reading too much into that, Dago or Lana or whoever, but I don't think so. I think she's absolutely right. She usually is, guys. She's usually pretty on point. And Lana doesn't usually put anything else or anything out unless she has thought about it deeply and went through it pretty good, okay? So I have a tendency to believe what she says, and I have a tendency to flow down the same river she's in, okay? Makes sense to me, guys. And when he does that, he does it a lot. I showed you guys that the other day. Answering questions. When he's answering questions, he answers questions at his, how can I say that, at his way. the other day we were watching him talk, and he was answering questions, and he makes a long pause. His face turns that red color. His face gets all blotchy, like he's nervous, and then he'll answer the question. Well, here's, like I said the other day, if you want people to believe you when you ask a question, you come off fast. Okay? Do you believe that this was Brian Kober? Yes. Do you believe that there was just one person involved? Yes. Not, well, yeah. That's not a true answer, folks. We know that. And it doesn't take much to read people, folks. You know that yourself. Sorry, guys. There's nothing about that sounds right, in my opinion. Okay. If you're gonna come to me and say, hey, Dago, were you wearing a black shirt today? Well, yeah, I think. Okay, are you gonna believe me? No, you're not. You're not. Okay. And I'm not saying that he's lying, folks. Don't take it that way. I think he's trying to think about how he needs to answer the question at first. And then if he needs to change the answer to fit to what they need to do to handle their investigation. Okay. And that's a good point, Rose. He always says, well, we believe we have our guy. You believe. That's not that's not an answer to me. That's a I believe I do, but we think we do is what that sounds like to me, okay? And I'm not making a big deal about this today, guys. It's just I wanted to speak on what Lana had said, and the fact that I really enjoyed that live stream. It opens your eyes to something that makes you dig a little deeper into your mind and think about things that we're not really thinking about, because we're in such a hurry to get into the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about sometimes that we just avoid verbiage. It's very important, guys. We can't avoid it. Good to see you, Mrs. Italy D. Thank you for joining us, Miss Paula. Good to see you. Or that's a good point, Rose. Or he fits the narrative. Yeah, he has to stick with that narrative, guys, because if you all know, okay, you all know that if Chief Fry said something in the very beginning of this and they went back tomorrow and asked him a question that was the same question they asked him 6 months ago, and he changes that answer, you know what's going to happen. Moscow is going to burn to the ground because people are going to rush them and say, okay, you said this, this, and this. Now you're changing it. What's going on? I want to know right now. That's what's going to happen in a case like this. You guys know that. Sounds to me, that's a good point, Noni. I like the way you put that too. Sounds to me like we're still trying to figure out how to make sure we convince the public that we have the guy. Great point. I like the verbiage you used because that's what I'm saying, folks. Now, if Noni would have said that, this sounds to me like, well, we're trying to still figure out how we can positively make sure that we can positively convince everyone in the public that we absolutely have the one man responsible for this crime. You see what I'm saying? That sounds more, because I'm using the words like absolutely, one man, things like that. It makes it, I mean, you guys know this stuff. You guys aren't kids. I'm not trying to talk to you like you are. I'm just saying I've learned that over dealing with all these cases that verbiage and language are huge. Verbiage, language, and body language are like monstrous in these cases, folks, to watching press conferences, to watching and listening to interviews. I mean, they are huge. They make all the difference in the world. They really do. It's crazy. Good to see you, Liza. Thanks for joining us. Regardless of who we think did this, whoever we think it is, again, it's going to be all based on what they say. And they're being picked apart. Law enforcement is right now, piece by piece. We're hanging on to every word they're saying because we want to know. We want to be able to figure out what they're actually saying. Just like when Mr. Steve Goncalves was talking to, the public and stating different things in his interviews, everybody is listening to Steve because he a lot of times had said things in a cryptic type of way. Okay. Because he can't say certain things. He doesn't want to say certain things to, cause issues. I don't blame him. So it's how it happens, guys. It really is how it happens. That was heard too, Vicky. I know. I see what you're typing in there, and that I know almost everybody heard that yesterday when we were listening to that. I had never heard that like that the first time. 12, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And I want to thank Kara for that so very much. That audio had been debunked. Understand, debunked. Okay. They had said that. I don't know how many times. Thank you, Miss Brandy. I do appreciate that so very much. How many times it was talked about that it was debunked. I'm going to keep doing that because why is it debunked? I want to know what the reasoning. Can somebody in here tell me, have they seen, have they heard why that audio was debunked? Does anybody know that? Because I don't. We need Grady Judd. That's who needs to be on this case is Grady Judd, in my opinion. I'm just saying. I'm being honest with you guys. It does. No, doesn't it though? Mrs. Italy says, "Oh my God, that was my first time hearing it clearly. It was debunked and disappeared. That says a lot. Why?" And that's the other thing too, Liza. Thank you. Who debunked it? What professional expert debunked that? That's what I want to know. Because that's what it takes is a professional expert to debunk something like that. A voice analyst. I would venture to say that the FBI should be the ones that are handling that kind of scenario, but I never heard that they did. Hello, Mrs. Eve Lucky. Good to see you. Thank you. No chains. I never heard that the police did either. Was it somebody else, another creator that debunked it? Who did though? There it is. Thank you, Miss Kara. It was debunked just in case someone might come along and transcribe it. Well, guess what happened? Someone came along and transcribed it. So in turn, now everybody's going to go back and go, that was debunked. Don't even listen to it. It's garbage. Get rid of it. Moving on. Let's talk about something else. That's what they want us to do. Okay. That's what is wanted, to stick to the narrative. And I get it. They don't want people going off on wild rampants, going here, going there, going there. I don't want that to happen either. But I heard what I heard, folks. And you heard what you heard. It's easier to believe that it is real than to believe that it was debunked, that it's not real, folks. If somebody made that up and threw that out here, that person is a sick person. But the thing is what we're hearing is not just the words that we're hearing, but we're hearing voices that are familiar to me. At least I am. Okay. Not because I want to. I'm hearing voices because when I first heard the audio that Kara sent me, I was listening to everybody else's. Okay. Joseph Morris's audio was completely different than that. All you hear is somebody screaming, "Stop, leave me alone," or something like that. That was debunked. Okay. So at this point, when I was listening to what Kara sent me, I was 95% positive when I was listening to it that it was going to be the same thing. It was not anything worth listening to. Nothing against you, Kara. It was just the same audio we had heard. Well, guess what? Mama Bear and I both very clear. I played it back how many times, folks, just to make sure we're hearing what we're hearing. And we heard what we heard. Okay. You can change it. So anybody can change it all they want to. I heard what I heard. Sounds like a plan, Alyssa. And it does make sense. Which in turn, it's definitely Maddie. I can definitely hear Maddie. Okay. And we know what Maddie sounds like, guys. We know what Maddie sounds like because we watched the video of them walking from the bar to the grub truck. We heard Maddie and Kaylee's voice very clearly. We know the tone and the sound of their voices. So it's a familiar voice. We heard it, guys. We heard it. Good to see you, Dara. Thanks for joining us. And again, understand when I showed you guys where that audio came from and how close it was to the house, there's absolutely no reason why I would think, and it was muffled, which it should be because there's a wall there. But there's a window, as I was told, it was cracked possibly. And even if it wasn't, the walls aren't very thick, guys. They're 1/4-inch drywall. I told you guys. There's no carpeting in that house as a sound barrier. Excuse me. But I'm just saying, folks, I very, very strongly feel that is a real piece of audio. I really do. I'm sorry, but I do. If that makes me nuts, if that makes me crazy, if I'm wrong about that, my apologies. And if it comes out somewhere down the road that I'm wrong and it's not, then I'm telling you right now, my apologies for saying that it was. And I will be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I have no issue with being wrong at all. But after hearing that, I feel very strongly that is what that is. Good to see you, Jules. Thanks for joining us, hon. Great to have you here. If you are comfortable with it and you have the time, you're more than welcome to jump up here with me today. I'd love to have you. If not, I quite understand. You're welcome in chat as always. But Mama Bear's not here. So like I said, you're more than welcome to jump up here with me today. It's up to you, whatever you'd like to do, hun. So, there it is, guys. And again, we're listen to it again. And then we have some other stuff that we're going to be listening to too. And moving on. Also, I want to talk a little bit about Sleuthy's video that she put out. I think it was Friday. That was interesting. I watched that yesterday as well. Very interesting. There's a lot of new interesting things popping around. And it's definitely clear, a lot clearer, Kira. A lot clearer. I just wanted to know, like I said, when we start talking about it, all these things that get debunked, okay? Especially like an audio and stuff like that. Like, who does the debunking? I want to see, whatever certification or degree that these people have that says that they can debunk something. That's all I'm saying. Welcome, Sarah. Good to see you. Fireflies in the house. Good to see you as well. Ms. Lindy, good to see you. Thank you guys for joining us today. And as Mystic Virgo, good to see you too. Sophie, great to see you. You guys are just popping up all over the place. Great to have you. And as always, we are so super happy to have our Jules here, the voice of reason. And one second here. All right, we're gonna listen to this again. I think this is the right one. Jeff says, but it seems to me that between the sounds and the camera, there's a whole wall. Well, here's the thing. Let me see if I can find this. One second.
We're just gonna kind of go.
Hold on a minute. I want you guys to look at the house. If I can get to that picture. 1 second. Okay. I'm only using this as a for you guys to see the picture itself of the house, okay? And this is what I'm talking about, Jeff, real quick. We're not listening to this. We don't need to read any of this stuff, guys. I just want you to see the house. If I can make it any bigger. Okay. So, if you guys can see this, right here where that circle is where the audio device is, the camera is, okay? Sorry, van life. This is something that she has up here. I was just using to show the house, but right behind. Okay, this right here is this other circle is Xana's bedroom. So from there to there, even if the window's cracked, it's not very far. It's not very far at all, folks. I mean, you honestly look at it. That's it. That's where that is. Oh, by the way, man, I thank you for having this up because it's perfect for me to use. But that's the distance right there. There's this wall, which is 1/4 inch drywall, and the siding. But if the window's cracked as it was supposedly, this is an outdoor exterior audio device picking up. It's very possible. Okay, that's what I'm saying, and I know what you were saying, Jeff. I can understand completely why it would be hard to think you could hear it, but the yelling especially is coming in fairly clear. Okay, the other stuff that's very muffled, which is typical, just maybe loud talking, it's hard to hear because of that wall and that situation. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. It's here and here. That distance is not far at all. So that's the point that I was trying to make with that. Sorry guys, that's a big picture of my head. Sorry. I believe so, Sarah. I do believe so. And it's not a typical ring camera, folks. That's what I'm trying to explain too. It's not just like a regular ring camera. Um, the camera is more of, it looks like a light bulb, guys, and I think it screws into a light fixture. It's got a bigger microphone on it than what a ring camera would, and a bigger, like a camera per se. Now I don't know the scenario with that part of it, but that's what I did see that, and I've seen those on Amazon. I looked them up; they do exist. So here's the thing though, Sherry, is it, like I said, it's not a ring camera. It's a different type of camera. If I can find it again, let me show it to you guys. And 1 second here. Bear with me, guys. Okay. Here we go. It's something like this, guys. It's something like that right there. Okay. It screws into like a light bulb setting. Then you have your camera and your microphones all around it. Okay. Um, audible alarm. Let me see if I can find the. Here we go. Let's see if I can find the. Okay, it says right here. Whether in the presence of faint starlight or complete darkness, it can ensure that objects within 30 feet can be clearly monitored, giving you the best night vision experience. Um, it runs on Wi-Fi. It has two-way audio and alarm siren. Wi-Fi security camera enables you to talk with your family or your visitors on your mobile phone. You can set an audible alarm to sound a loud alarm when a moving object is detected. Then built-in advanced microphone speaker allows you to scare away uninvited guests and say hello to welcome guests. It doesn't give the But again, I don't know the level that this was because there's different versions of this. Some are better, some are not. I mean, if this was a decent one, this is just the cheap $31 version of it. You know, even at that, 30 feet is 30 feet, which in turn, in my opinion, is why a lot of that sound could have been muffled, okay? Because of the wall, the window, and the distance. That was about roughly 30 feet, maybe a little bit more, but it says clearly monitored at 30 feet. I'm going to say at the max it was 50 feet. I don't think it was, though, okay? It may have been under that. I'm not saying I'm not there. I haven't been able to measure the distance, but it didn't seem like it was. It's literally right there at that corner. So there's that. Again, sorry for the big shot of my face. Good point, KP. No, I think you can just run it right into your phone, D Smalls. There's no monthly any of that kind of stuff. It's yours. You just have to set it up, and the Wi-Fi lets you run it through your phone, whatever you want to do. And you can save it to your phone just as you would. It's all yours. It's all private. You don't have to run it with anything else. Probably, Mandy. I probably do, but it's all good. I would miss you guys too much, so no vacation for me. Right, Vicky. That's how it works too. Welcome, Brian. Good to see you, brother. All right, hon. No problem. We got lucky. We got Miss Jules today, folks. I am excited. All right, your link. The link's in the chat, hon. Don't mind me, guys. I'm eating something I probably shouldn't be. Just because. You ever had these before? I know I shouldn't be eating candy, but they're not bad. Yes, snacks, Mandy. Snack, snack, snack. We love snacks. Oh, yeah, Brian? They're okay. They're not that big of a deal to me. They're just something that was laying around. I wanted something sweet, so. Why were they demonetized? That's crazy. That's a good point, Aristocrat. Chick Antiques in the house. Good to see you. Harlow Oscara. Thanks for joining us. Okay, Jeff. Got that. And then we'll jump up to the other as we were. 1 second, folks. With a big picture. Okay. Um, I was told that that camera was on the back side of that house. Can you hear me, Jules? You're muted there.
Yeah. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
yes, ma'am. There we go.
Okay.
Welcome.
Hey.
What's happening today?
Just
We,
working and editing.
yep. That's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what we
24/7.
do. You plus you do a lot more too. So
Well, it's luckily we're done with school, so I don't have to deal with homeschool right now. I mean, they're going to be doing their electives like once a week and still doing their reading, but all that other stuff is done for now.
awesome. Good. At least you get a somewhat of a little break.
Yeah.
Not much, but
Not
some.
much.
Um, it was a light bulb Wi-Fi. Yeah, I was under the understanding that the camera was on the back side of the house. That they had one on the front and the back. I may be wrong. I don't know. It may have been up here where Jeff had posted it.
Do we know where this originally leaked from? Like, not leaked from because we're obviously never going to know that, but do we know who the original poster of this is?
I am. I have no idea. We tried finding it. No clue. No clue at all.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of people like email me about it. I know we've talked about it on here before. I just find it hard to believe it's real.
I understand. I did too.
It
After
could
what I
be because it's so hard to make out anything. Like, obviously, you can hear the screaming towards the end, but I mean, people are talented these days,
I have,
and they could easily have taken voice clips from anywhere on social media and put
yeah.
this together. It's just so hard to
Not
tell real from fake.
that's what I've been thinking. I want you to hear this new one that I have that was a subscriber in here. She broke it down, cleaned it up, I guess you could say.
Okay,
And
yeah, that's what I was wondering because I saw
yeah,
that yesterday. Y'all were talking about a cleaned up version possibly
I'm gonna
getting
I'm
done.
I'm gonna play it here in a minute. I was just
Okay.
looking at this is where Jeff has the video up of where the camera was. See, I thought there was one back here too somewhere.
Hmm.
Which, yeah, if the camera was here, it has the sound has to travel through here. It's gonna be blocked by these walls, in my opinion, or go
Yeah.
around here. So it is gonna be harder to hear, Jeff. You're correct. If it did this, if it went around this way. But see, I could be very wrong, and that's okay with me if I am. That I was told that it was back in this way. There was one back here somewhere too, which would make more sense to me than this does. Okay, so I don't know. Um, I guess we'll have to see. But let me play this other one again. And this one was kind of crazy, Jules, because I very clearly heard, as did Mama Bear, as did about 300 other people that were in here yesterday. Well, most of them did. The word Kopaka
Oh
very
shit!
clearly
Really?
come out of somebody's mouth. I swear to
See,
God.
that almost kind of makes me not want to believe it even more. I mean,
I
just
and that
because of the craziness going on YouTube and how crappy we've already seen people be in this case.
I
But
absolutely understand.
I'm willing to listen and dissect. I'm
Absolutely.
coming at this one with a lot of guard.
And I have been too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have been too. Because we debunked this ourselves months ago, and then it was brought back out again. We listened to it again, and then I was told it was debunked by somebody else, and it's like, okay,
Mhm.
who debunked it? I want to know who debunked it and how and like you know what I mean. So I'm not trying
Yeah,
to
we don't I haven't seen that paper trail. The same way that we did with the one that Joseph Morris did, how that one was even brought out by the original girl came out
right.
calling him out. I haven't seen the paper trail for this one. So yeah, that is accurate.
Right. Thank you so very much, Jeff. I vaguely recall a short video of a person doing a recording test to simulate, excuse me, distance from 1122 to the Blue House. Was never intended to fool anyone, just test sound quality. I did not see that. I would be interested to see that. And again, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I do appreciate that so very much. We what we were looking for yesterday, Jules, was
Mhm.
there was supposedly an audio that another creator put out of the scanner going off
The
in the
police scanner?
the police scanner going on. The footage from the scanner from the Kopaka incident is what we were looking for because somebody had talked about it, and I'm like, okay, well, I never heard that,
Me
never
neither.
heard the 911 call, any of that kind of stuff, because we have issues with the fact that you can't find the roommates, which somebody did give a name on a roommate yesterday. We had that too. So again, we
But has
start
there been anything found that this person was talking about online or giving their story or anything, a
not
social media post about being in a crazy event or anything?
not at all, not as of yet. Well, that person we just got named yesterday. I don't think anybody really had a chance to
Mm,
look.
okay.
Jay for Justice supposed Brian Hoffman said Jay for Justice had it, but then at the same time, all their stuff just got demonetized. So I don't know what's going on. Um, hold on a minute. There you go, Jeff. Sorry about that, buddy. I don't want to believe trash. Okay, just as nobody else does. I don't want to believe
Right.
things that are fake, that are not, that have been made up. Anybody that would make something up to go along with this case is disgusting anyway. But whatever. Um, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to fall into that hole. What's up, Pappy? Good to see you. Um, and so on and so forth. But I do. If there's something that comes out, I'm willing to listen to it. I'm willing to put forth the, I'll believe it until you can disprove it, or I'll not believe it until you can prove it. Either way we do it, that's something I'll listen to. Do you know what I mean? So theory or whatever opinion it is, or I'll listen to this and try to be positive and hear it, and then I'll make my decision. So
Yeah, if we could actually, like, if it is cleaned up enough where we can actually make out like words, then that would
mhm,
be great. But one of the main things that kind of just took me away from even wanting to believe this crap is that there was a lot of people saying that you could hear someone say, "I'm here to help you," and "Oh, someone's here." And I'm like, bro, they'd have been like talking normal like that. That wouldn't
no,
be picked up on that camera.
that's
So that
not
was
in
my
this.
first thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then when I went to listen to all these different ones, I can't make out anything but Ethan screaming. And I mean, I've seen comments about people saying they hear laughter, and I heard laughter too, and then I heard screaming. But that also, if this is any sort of accuracy, could lead into your theory of about an ambush. They would have in the kitchen hanging out, and all of a sudden everything was shit. So if this is legit, it could easily go into that. I'm willing to listen if I can make out anything.
I can
Yeah,
hear. You can hear the word Kopaka, and you can tell that this is not, like, you can hear some of, like, you can hear very faintly some laughing. I hear somebody say outside, or like come outside, and that you can also hear the screaming, the yelling, but you can't hear anything about I'm here to help you, none of that kind of stuff. So that's what made me go, okay, maybe this is more realistic.
yeah,
um who knows? Like I said, we're gonna listen to it a few more times, and we'll just go from there.
okay.
um Let me see if this is the right one, because I have 3 or 4, 5 of them now. So hold on. Oh, this is kind of loud too, so we're gonna have to tone this down, and I'm gonna have to reset this. Hold on. Yeah, if you have headphones on, be careful. Okay, let's try it this way. Okay. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, all right, that was the initial um, sound, the initial. This is the one that has been transcribed per se and cleaned up from the subscriber. Okay, like we heard it before it was cleaned up first, and
Hmm.
now we're hearing it after it's been cleaned up.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I'm going to listen without looking at whatever is transcribed because
Please
I don't.
don't. Yeah, don't
Yeah,
look
I
at it.
don't want that in my brain.
I did that too the first time I looked down. I didn't look at the screen, and I
Yeah.
still heard what I heard. All right, here we go.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I mean, I heard maybe like one instance in the beginning about it's cold as whatever outside. I'm going in, whatever. After that, uh-uh, I don't hear it. I just don't.
Okay, no problem.
I try.
The
I
one
mean, I'm
part
trying here. If we could find out where it actually came from and not have all this, crazy stuff constantly happening in here, and we could get something straightforward, maybe it would be
I
more
agree.
believable. But
I agree.
I don't hear what's being heard here.
I absolutely agree. It wasn't. It wasn't. I said, "Why did the recording stop?" It wasn't done yet. But excuse me for 1 second, Jules. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I think I get like the comments back here a little bit later than they show up live. So I'll probably see this in like 10 or 15 seconds. How many of you have heard this same one like over and over again? Does it sound like it's the exact same, or does it sound different than the one that was debunked previously? Because I'm trying to see if there's been any differences, any cuts in this. Okay, so Chick Antique states this originally got released to the public by Bullhorn Betty. Okay, Bullhorn Betty. Interesting. So we're going to assume that she went knocking on people's doors and asked for audio, because unless the homeowner took a copy for themselves, the cops would have had this. And just from, personal experience, because I've had an incident where cops have had to come and get my security footage, they take like the full system and the USB, and then they do stuff with it after the fact. I never even got my USB back after that situation was done. So unless she went knocking on people's doors and somehow or another this person had a copy, she couldn't have gotten this from the cops.
Did she get it from Olivia? Because Olivia was there.
Well, they're saying in the comments that that Bullhorn was claiming that she got it while they were there, but she apparently didn't state from who. So that's why I don't know, because why would Olivia have this from the Gonsalveses? The Gonsalveses wouldn't have had this. And
No.
like I was telling, them in here, when I had my own incident, when the cops had to come and get my security footage, I never got to like keep a copy of it. And they took the USB and I never got the USB back. They still have my memory card, all those things. So
Right.
I don't know how this person, unless they purposely made a copy to do their own thing with it later, I don't
Hmm.
see this. I don't know.
Somebody, people have said that it's in the cloud and it's this and it's like, oh, okay, I understand. But the one thing that I did hear, like I said, and I wasn't looking up when I was listening to this first. Hold on, I'm at. Kara said something. If I can find it, give me 1 second, folks. I'm a looking, and I'm another reason why I'm glad you're here today is I pulled Mama Bear. Oh, okay, it's not her audio. This one isn't This one's not yours, Kara? Oh. Well, that's the one that I typed in. Hold on a minute. Hold on.
No, Cindy, that one was the one from the DV incident from October or whatever the DV incident was. That's the one that Joseph Morris got called out for. That was
Yeah,
the
that was
very first
right.
BS that happened in the case. And the woman that was in that audio actually came out. I think she's a Twitch streamer or something, some other platform. But she came out and called Joseph Morris out for using her audio.
Okay, Salty Sleuth, thank you. This is for. Let me show you this real quick, and then I will find Kara's because Kara's is. That did sound different. The one she sent me was way clearer. She did some work on it. Okay, this is what I was explaining. You see this right here? That's the camera. That
So
is where the
that's the
audio
one
came
that we
from.
think this is coming from. Okay.
Yes, and this is where the room was. So right there to there is not even 30 feet, in my opinion. So that
Is
makes it
that's
more.
Maddie's bedroom,
That
right?
is Xana's bedroom. Xana.
Oh, okay, that's the second floor. Okay, okay,
Yeah, that's
you can't see the
Xana.
third one
There's the
from this
camera.
angle.
Right. So that's
Okay.
what I was talking about, Jeff. I had seen this before. Thank you, Salty, for that. So that is why I'm like, okay, yeah, we could pick up some audio from there, even if and what I had understood, I even went back and tried to find video of the day of the next day when they were showing the house. The window, I can't find it again, but I still believe this window was cracked to like right here. Okay. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is. Okay. I'm just saying that would have made it even easier to pick up audio from right there. That is, in my opinion, what is that? Like 20, maybe 25 feet?
Maybe,
If
somebody made a
that.
good point. KP just made a good point because I was just thinking this. Because remember, whenever the timeline first came out, Olivia had to go in and correct the time the girls got home because she apparently went and looked at people's Ring doorbell cameras and
Yeah.
figured out. I wonder if this is the camera that she originally looked at because it's right there.
It is right
So
there. Yeah.
anything that's on there when it comes to this situation, if it is one of them, or even if it isn't, even if it was somebody across the street, I wonder if, geez, I wonder if Olivia heard any of this. If this is real,
Um,
that'd be horrible.
well, it's horrible. It is. It made me even just the thought that it could be real, and then listening to it made me nauseous to my stomach yesterday. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, it's the guttural at the end that's
Yes.
got me.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if this is fake and somebody did it that well, then that's, shame on them. But yeah, that's
That's
the one
horrible.
part of it that does sound pretty interesting.
All right, Kara, let me try to find this again. Or Alyssa sent me one too. Is it the same one that Kara has, Alyssa? No one was allowed on the property. Was cordoned up. Right. Bargain Mama. Good to see you. Thank you, Jeff. And again, thank you for the super chat, my friend. But I cleared a lot of the static. Yes. Okay, then I'll do that one. Then where's it at? Okay, let's see if this is it. Joe Lamont says this is audio of some show being recorded underwater in the 70s. This is not 2022. Come on. I don't know about that, Joe. I'm just see that's not the one I had yesterday either. Where the hell did it go?
Well, I mean, one thing you can say about this is if this is legitimate, which I mean, we've said from the beginning, there's no way in hell this was a silent attack. I don't give a damn what anyone tries to state.
Oh
If
no,
it's
no, no,
this
no.
loud that it's on a camera, and we already know that it's on a camera because the PCA is freaking telling us that it is, then them two still trying to say, "Oh, we don't know what happened. We didn't know." Da, da, da. No, it goes out the window.
If
Like all
somebody
of it.
asked, there's okay. Hold on, Kara. Um, somebody said, why was there a camera pointed on the back of the house like that? Well, that parking lot, guys, was a busy parking lot. The neighbors had
Yeah.
even said, um, at some point I had found or heard that they had said there was a lot going on in that parking lot on a regular basis, and it, it's around their house, so that's why they had those cameras up.
Yeah, they have people coming and going all the time. I'd have had a damn camera too.
Right. All right, hold on a minute. Why is my email doing this today? Swear to God. 1 second, folks. Anywho, what I was trying to say was Mama Bear had found the statement made from Blaker,
Mm-hmm.
the full affidavit that he had out there, and I wanted to go through that too.
Yeah, I did a comparison, compare and contrast of that one with Payne's. I just haven't recorded it yet. It's in my notebook.
Right.
Oh yeah, because we were talking about how copy and pasted and pathetic it was.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wrong one. 1 second, Kara. What this is my email. This isn't your fault. I need to take some time and empty my email, I guess you could say. Very hard to find things here. You know what? If you wouldn't mind, Kara, could you just send that to me again? The one you sent me yesterday. The same one you sent me yesterday that had that big screen on it. If you could resend that to me, because I don't know if it dumped it or not, but it's the girls from yesterday, and I have an audio app that balances what. Where did it go? That balances what. Quit moving. It could from a camera mic, so it's not going to be great, superb quality. Right. Yeah, but what I was listening to, we heard, Mama Bear heard it, I heard it. It very clearly sounds like the name Kopaka, and I had never heard that in this audio before, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. That was Alyssa's audio, Clarence, the one that I just played, the last one. It says cleaned up audio. I haven't edited the words yet. I freaked out by this, blah, blah, blah. That's from Alyssa. This is the one. Hold on. Let me put it through this way and see if it makes it any better.
Can you, whenever you find the spot where you hear that name, can you stop it and replay it?
See, I didn't hear it on this version. I heard it on yesterday's, but I will try. Yeah. Okay. 1 second. All right, let me know how it sounds, folks. I'm gonna have to mute my end of it.
Like I must be going deaf because everyone in the comments is like, "Oh, we heard it, we heard it." I'm gonna put both ears on now.
They did yesterday. I did too. Mama Bear heard it. I was like, "Whoa, what the hell?" You did play mine second. Oh, okay. Then yeah, we heard it yesterday, but hold on a minute.
Yes, Alyssa, if you would, that would be awesome. Thank you.
What'd she say?
She's gonna send it to me too.
Okay, yeah, please do. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. So that is the leave me alone or let me up or whatever the hell it is. You heard somebody kind of crying right before that, and right before that is the Kopaka, supposedly. See, it's not that clear on this one as it was to me yesterday. Let me go, let me up, something, leave me alone. Somewhere along the lines is what he screams there.
Yeah, I hear "leave me alone" or "let me go."
Right. Right before that, like right about here, I think it should be playing like right away after I hit play, Jules. Did you hear it that time?
I heard "get out," not
Okay.
"Kopaka."
Right. Um,
I just don't. I just don't know.
I
I,
mean,
I mean, I want to believe it, but I don't want to believe it, and I want to believe it, but I don't want to believe it. Like
I get it.
some sort of validation of how loud this stuff was, because I mean, they think we're all dumb, would be amazing, because then we could definitely keep calling bullshit on the two
Uh-huh.
girls. But I mean, I don't know, bro.
And that's the problem. That's the problem I'm having with it. I can't say, like, I want to say I heard this, but I don't want to believe I heard that. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I want to say, I am saying I did hear this, but I don't want to believe I heard that because it just doesn't make, I don't know. I don't understand if this were real. I'm not saying that anybody that did this or that it's not real, guys. Okay. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, why would the police allow this to be out?
Yeah, that too.
Do you know what I mean? Like, why haven't they shut this down?
Yeah, this is a little extreme for them to not I could get that they're kind of playing around with the DoorDash driver thing, because that could easily just been like null and voided months ago if they'd have just came out and made one simple 2-second statement. This, I don't know. Like it's not like they don't know this is out there. Like I know that they have people that watch social media, watch the internet. I know they know that this has been circulating, but nothing.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. But then
It's
you
just,
have to also wonder, like, if this would have been talked about, was this talked about before we even knew who the hell Brent Kopaka was? And did they hear
um,
Kopaka before we knew Kopaka's name?
yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Carolyn, she transcribed this. Um,
Because I mean, I'm sure it's been out for like a minute, because I know this is like come and gone several times.
oh yeah. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. That's the problem.
Okay,
Um,
so Chick Antique said it was early January. So it would have been after his arrest if it was in early January. And by then we had the recordings of the Indiana stuff, right?
right. Yep. Oh, hold on. I'm pulling the other one up, guys. Somebody sent me a email saying, "Isn't it weird that you don't find it bizarre that the police chief drove the U-Haul to the house and unloaded boxes and took them away?"
I mean, all of it was strange. I never saw blood on
Oh,
anything they took out of that house.
right. And the whole case is bizarre. So, like, I can't really circle and center in on anything, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing is just normal. Not one thing.
Absolutely. Okay, hold on. Is this the one? Nope. Wrong one. Sorry, guys. I'm getting there. I got like 6 of these yesterday, and I'm trying to separate them by who they are. Come on. Internet. That's not that. It's my damn email. Where is it at? Okay. Let's see if this is it.
Okay, Alyssa, I'll check it here in a few minutes.
She's sending you the same one that I think that I just had or I just played.
Yeah,
Um,
she said it's a file share, so I'm not sure if that's a different notification than an email. You might have to look in your Google Drive if she shared it with you the same way.
okay. Well, I have. That's what I just. The one I just played is the one she sent me, and I had to open it up and then copy. Okay. Yeah. 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 I got it. Um. Where it? Yesterday I got this email from Kara, and it came out. That's the one we listened to yesterday that I was blown away by, and now it's just not showing anymore. And I don't have auto dump on my email, so I don't understand this. That's the one I wanted to hear.
Is this on YouTube somewhere where you could just pull up the channel?
Mm-mm.
Someone's saying it was, but then there's people saying no.
No, because she did something to it and then she sent it to me.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. Is this it?
Sure.
Nope. Too much of this stuff. All sorts of stuff from YouTube. All right, Kara, try this again. Is it on your channel, Kara? No, it wasn't. That's right, because this is ridiculous. It was set and ready to go yesterday when I was done, and now it's just not there. Okay, is that it? Load.
Okay, people are saying, is this are you trying to play the one from Kara? Oh, no, you're trying to play the one from Alyssa.
No, I'm trying to play the one from Kara from yesterday because that's the one that was.
Okay, so Evie Marie just said that it's on Kara Willis's channel, that she listened to it last night again.
Okay. 1 second.
Nellie B said the same thing. Yeah, it might be up there. Leah said the same thing. Yeah, must be on her channel. CL said the same thing.
All right, then I'm looking there. Yep, that is it. Yes, this is it, Jules. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. That's where I did get this from. That's why. Okay. Are you ready now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the one that I'm talking about from yesterday. This is way, way clearer than everything. Okay. And this is where I heard the word Kopaka. All right. Here we go, folks. This is kind of loud, so I'm sorry. Oh, wait a minute. No, I got to share it. Duh. Hold on. Don't look at the screen, Jules. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give you a heads up not to, because you'll see it and then you'll hear it. So, that's what I don't want to happen. That's what I did yesterday is I didn't look and then I looked after the fact when I played it back. Okay, here we go. And we are off. Did you hear that?
I mean, I'm listening to it, but I can't make out anything of substance.
I'm
And
gonna play
I've
this.
got both
I'm gonna
ears on.
I'm gonna play this back multiple times where he says the word Kopaka.
Okay.
It's I'm not gonna tell you what it says before that.
Well, hell.
How
Yeah.
about now?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. See? And before that, hold on. Before that, it says Xana. He yells Xana. She says, fuck, there's someone here. Excuse my language, folks. And then Kopaka.
Yeah, I hear Xana, and now I hear Kopaka. I can't tell if I can hear her saying anything, but I hear Kopaka.
Yeah, she says right before that, she says, okay, right here, he screams her name.
Mhm.
She says, F, there's someone here. He screams, or he yells when he yells Kopaka. So here we go again. And you hear, like, she stresses the word fuck. Sorry, guys. And there's someone here. It gets quieter, and then he says Kopaka. One more time. He yells Xana, and you hear F, there's someone here, and then Kopaka.
So then that would, so if this is okay, so if this is legitimate, then that would mean that the whole someone's here thing from Dylan wouldn't have been Kaylee.
Right.
And it would have been a hell of a lot louder than her just thinking that they're just talking.
Yep. Tamara,
Yeah.
you guys, yeah, that was, it said Xana. Go back. And then,
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody-
it might not be Kopaka. It really might not, because now that's just like in our heads when it comes to this case. It could not be, but I mean, it sounds like it, but there's a few other things it might be.
Well, let me let it, the rest of it play out for you too. Now,
Okay.
somebody said that
So that's the feds, I think. Okay, see, I can't with
Yeah.
it a little bit. I don't know.
You definitely can hear the dog.
The city of Tampa is on a mission to expand.
So
Well,
there it is.
what I'm listening to is I guess the tone. I could see where people could think that it is stating Kopaka because of the way that it is being stated. I don't know if go back out would
Go
be
back up. Go back up. Go back out.
yeah, but it's like the way that it's being put together. I don't think it would have been a sentence. It does sound like it would have been like one word.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought.
That's what I'm listening to. Because if you say go back up,
To where?
it's a little different. Yeah, it's a little bit different than if it's being said as one word. So I mean, I agree. It sounds interesting.
And we had heard this multiple times before, and now I didn't look at the screen yesterday until after the first time I heard it. Right.
Yeah.
So then I looked up and I'm like, oh shit, okay. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I clearly heard it. Mama Bear heard it, and a lot of people in chat were like, yeah, that's what it sounds like it's saying, Dago. And I'm like, I can agree.
Have they ever I mean, I know that there's not a lot about Kopaka, But when it comes to his social media stuff, I know that Crime Circus was talking a lot about it, but he lost me a long time ago. But has there been like an actual trail of social media connections between him and the kids, or?
I mean, not that we could find. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. Molly, we put together a list of names,
Yeah,
like all the names, and we're trying to do a background on them all to try to link anybody to anybody.
right.
We haven't pulled anything yet, but if he didn't want to be linked to anybody, it's easy to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's easy to just like not follow people on social
right.
media, but I mean, he would have had to have known him to say his name, so it wouldn't have been like it was a stranger walking in.
And this, it's funny because this goes to, I know I'm my theory that I put out there is not written in stone, guys. It's just something I thought about after putting little pieces of things together.
Yeah,
This kind of fits with that, as in they were hanging out in the kitchen. Somebody comes in, they were ambushed in a sense, and boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah,
okay. So, I mean, I here's the thing, folks. I have a hard time with this because I don't want to believe that Brent Kopaka was involved in something like this because of who he was, who he's what he stood for in a
yeah.
sense, saying. But who am I to make that judgment? You know. So I don't know, man. I mean, and when I was listening to this I did this last night with my headphones. Okay, quiet, everything, and I was just sitting here with my head down listening, and it does to me sound like the girls are talking, and the voices mimicked the same sounds as the walk from the corner club to the grub truck. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
The Maddie's voice specifically, I could hear, and then I don't hear it. In the very beginning, you can hear Maddie's voice, and then you don't hear it. So in turn, this is almost, it like almost as if to say that Xana was the target at first. Okay. But that's not necessarily true either. Who knows? I mean, unless that was just the first people they went after, if that's what happened. Okay. Um, slow it
Well,
down.
but we're also going based off of the order of death we're being given by the cops. Because
Oh,
if Maddie's name is listed first, then they're trying to tell us that she was the first one.
sorry about that. Go ahead.
Because the way that they give it to us is they're given to us in order of death, and
Yeah.
with Maddie being listed first, I mean,
See, I didn't believe that though. I never did believe that.
because honestly, how would like I know that they could
You
tell if
know,
there was like blood transfer from body to body, and Maddie didn't have any other person's blood in her, but then
yeah,
Kaylee would have had Maddie's, and so on and so forth. But if they're trying to tell us, and I'm going to send you this comment that I took a screenshot of because someone kind of lays it out in minutes that makes it make more sense about how ridiculous this sounds when
yeah.
it comes to one person doing this. Like they would have died so close together, then how the hell could you actually tell besides that? And who's to say there was just one weapon used that was shared between all four victims? Like we don't know any of that.
They're right, and I don't believe that there is.
I
I've
know,
said
not with the way that Xana and Ethan's wounds were described differently. Exactly. Yeah.
there's no way. That's why I've always believed from the beginning that there's been at least 3, maybe 4 people involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go back and hear Kim saying that there was one person standing guard outside keeping watch in the front, one in the back, 3 people inside. Okay.
Well, if that's true, then this exact same camera would have picked it up.
Well, and that's what I was wondering too. Like, why did this camera that's right there? Why did it not pick anybody up, or did it? That we just don't get to see that. You know what I
The
mean?
cops know about it and they're just not telling us.
Okay.
Unless but then one of the theories, with obviously Home Skillet knows something because he said he was going to be exonerated and asked if anybody else was arrested and blah 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 whatever. So I mean, what if he's just the idiot outside that they see on camera, and that's why they know that they got the right guy because they see him sitting outside on the camera, but they know damn well they don't have anything about these people on the inside. If that scenario is true,
very possible. And those people went out the back door, through the back, down that stairwell to the back, and took off. That way you're not seen by anybody. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, there's so many options with it. But I just don't know. But that I'll play this again. Somebody asked me to slow it down, and I will real quick. But then I want to move on to this other thing. Right, here we go. Let me share it again. Or is it's already shared? I'm sorry. All right, we're gonna do it again. Now this is slowed down. Now, see, when you slow that down, that's almost word for word what that sounded like she said. It's cold as F out here. I'm going inside.
So they would have been standing out the front door.
Or the back. One of the two, yeah.
But if this camera's in the front and she said that in a normal tone, a normal voice, it would have had to have been them in the front. Because if they were in the back, that camera wouldn't have picked that up.
Very, 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 yeah, absolutely. Okay. Moving on. We know everything. Okay. Which, when I heard that, that made me go backwards to the walk from the bar to
Adam.
the truck. Yeah. Yeah. What did you tell Adam? I told Adam everything. I mean, you put those two together in your mind. It's like, okay. All right, moving on.
Yeah, how does that happen? How do we have that right before these kids end up dead and it's not related? How do we have something that creepy and it's not related?
But
the same night. There's no way that it's not.
Right, and I've said that from the moment we saw that. It is related because it just is. I'm just saying it has to be, okay? All right, sorry. That you can hear clearer when it's slowed down too.
See, that sounded like Get Down that time.
There it is, guys.
The city of Tampa is on a...
Yeah. I don't know.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know. It bothers me though. I would say that much.
I mean, it's disturbing to listen to. I mean, even if you can't make out words, you can. I mean, the ending is what's so scary.
You know something's going on that's not supposed to be. Period.
Yeah.
It's rough, and I'll be honest with you. I hope that the families don't hear that. You know, because
there's no way they haven't by now, man. This thing has been circulating for months, and I know Olivia's probably been paying attention to stuff just as much as Steve.
It just makes me sick that they have to.
Yeah.
If it is 100% real, okay.
I mean, even if it's not, and this is circulating around, people are trying to state that this was their last breathing words. So just that in itself.
Absolutely, and it's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah, Adam was the bartender in the video, replying to a comment, and also Jack D's roommate.
Right.
Which, okay, I'm going to go a little off topic, but stay on topic for a second.
Please do.
We know that, like, Kim was stating to us that her daughter found out from the girlfriend of Jack and Adam's alibi, right? Was that same guy at the bar with them that night? These are, like, the questions I've been wanting to ask her because, like, I want to know if she was really with her kid that morning. Did she notice her daughter get a phone call at 10 a.m.? Because she doesn't mention whether her daughter stepped away for a phone call or not. And then if he's really the alibi And that's how this whole thing got started with her daughter's sorority knowing. Well, her story that she's getting from alibi guy is that it was like fast food and home to play video games. But we know Jack was getting called 10 times. Did he hear his phone going off and see him ignoring the calls? Was he at the bar with them at 1:30 in the morning, like we're seeing them at the bar, and then he went back to Jack and Adam's house? And then I was always just kind of like weirded out by the fact, your girl's in town from Spokane and you're letting her spend the night at her ex sorority while you go to your homeboy's house for the night, not even at your own house. There's a bunch of questions I have there. And now bringing up the whole Adam thing, it makes him, kind of look a little bit more suspicious about stuff. Because, just because Home Skillet is claiming he was their alibi doesn't mean that what he's telling is the truth either. Because again, if it's fast food and we went home, well, your alibi or the people you're an alibi for were at the freaking bar. So where were you? With your girl over in another town, where were you? At the bar? Doing what?
That's a great point. What were you doing? Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. So, Alyssa says, I think the Jack was Kopaka. I know it sounds crazy, but I have a lot of proof. But no one ever answers me. Ann Taylor's office is it. Only responses I get. Okay.
You mean you think Jack in the bar was Kopaka? Because that definitely was Jack. Like, it was a full-on frontal of his face. You could definitely tell it was Jack.
Yeah.
Now, unless she's talking about Jack Showalter was really Kopaka.
With the hoodie on?
Yeah, but it didn't look like Kopaka to me. Brent was pretty. Sorry, Brent was pretty. So I didn't notice that could have possibly been him instead of Showalter.
Right. So what? Okay. What do you mean? Do you have the ability to come up here, Alyssa, on panel with us? It might be easier just to talk. And I'll play that, Jeff. Don't worry, bud. Yeah, you can't miss Jack Decor. He's not really the best looking guy.
Well, not just that, but he's very particular looking. He's got red hair and he's like a ginger, right? Yeah. Right. So yeah, you would notice.
Right. What? Who just said that? Kopaka or his parents had a white Elantra. Who doesn't have a white Elantra at this point?
Yeah, there was like 22,000, right? Fry said.
Yeah, this is crazy. Thank you, Bongo.
Yeah.
Turkey money dog. I love it. Thank you so very much. Where are you at, Alyssa? Are you able to jump up here or no? You don't have to show your face, hon. If you can come up just like Jules is without showing your face and just talk. Give me 5. Okay, let me know when you're ready. I'll put the link down there. You can jump up here because we'd both love to hear what you have to say. Any of you guys, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. All right, let me drop this then, and I'll play what Jeff wants me to play while we're waiting for her, and then we'll go back to that after the fact. 1 second, buddy. Again, I'm trying to get to everybody's stuff. I promise you guys so very much. Okay, picture of actual light bulb camera. Is that what you're saying, Jeff, or the other one that you sent me? Oh, the Court TV one, right? Okay, hold on. This was a thing by Court TV debunking this audio thing. Yeah, I'm not answering that. Sorry. That is... Okay, hold on. Okay, Jeff. I think some of you guys are sending duplicates of different things. My email, Brandy, if you're in here, hun, can you drop my email or one of the other mods, please? All right, let's play this here real fast. And then by that time, Alyssa should be ready to jump up. Hold on. What the hell is going on outside my house? It sounds like an airplane's landing in my backyard.
Yeah, I live close to a small private airport, so I get that a lot too.
I don't, though. That's the difference. I'm like, what's going on out here?
Probably not good.
Yeah, right. All Okay, let's play this real fast then and see what they say.
Neighbors to my left here have a surveillance video camera that picked up audio from Xana Kernodle's room about 50 feet away, about 417, hearing the dog begin to bark, hearing a loud thud.
What'd you say?
It's echoing.
Echo. Damn it, I knew it. Hold on a minute. Just a second. What the hell just happened here? Why? Okay. Stop. Stop moving. All right, let's try this again.
Neighbors to my left here have a surveillance video camera that picked up audio from Xana Kernodle's room about 50 feet away, about 417, hearing the dog begin to bark, hearing a loud thud and what sounded like either whispers or whimpering at around 417 during the time of the murders. So circulating online are posts like the ones you see on the screen of this alleged audio of that surveillance video here. And so being on the ground, I spoke with the neighbors here. Paul's going to pan over here how close this home is, this blue home that we've seen next to the crime scene where that surveillance video would be. I caught the people living there walking out earlier, and they have debunked that audio. It is not the audio from that surveillance video. So I think that's important to clear up because those posts have gone so viral. But you can see behind me just how close that blue home where that surveillance video would be to Xana Kernodle's room right up there on the second floor to be able to pick that up. The neighbors.
Yeah, I saw that before. Here's the thing, and I'm not trying to sound like I want this to be real. Anything that's been debunked. Okay, the neighbors, she said that the neighbors said they debunked it. That's not, I don't know.
But are they talking about the first one or are they talking about this one that we're talking about now?
I'm not sure. That's the thing. I think
because there's
some
two.
people are saying it's different audio, so maybe that was the other one.
Yeah, because we'd have to know exactly which one they're referencing in that clip. It could have easily been the one from Joseph Morris.
Right.
What date? Does it show the date that was posted? Like the original post from that lady? Or from Court TV?
I'm looking on here. This is a TikTok, I think, so no, it doesn't.
Okay. I'll go back and try to find where they originally posted that on Court TV because the dates would matter.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to read the thing. No, I don't. Wait, I can't see that to save my life. No, it did not. The cops have the real. Well, that's a good point, Harley. It says the cops have the real audio from 4:17 a.m. So the defense will have a copy of the real one. And you know, I'm waiting to see 2 years from now. I'm sure that when the defense plays this. Yeah. The audio from it, if it's going to be different or if it's going to be what we just listened to. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Only time is going to fix all of this.
Was there a thud and a dog bark in Joseph Morris's clip? No, there wasn't. But there was another audio on top of that one, though, Jeff. Joseph Morris, his thing was debunked like way, way long time ago. And then this audio came out, and then another version of this audio came out. The first one that came out was debunked. The secondary one wasn't. And that's where I got confused back in the day with this. So I'm really trying to make this right, guys. It's hard, I promise you, because I don't like to give you guys, like I said yesterday, and I've been saying for months, I don't like to give you stuff that's not true. I absolutely do not.
Yeah, I don't hear a dog.
You can hear like a type noise.
It all sounds mechanic. I can't.
It does. I agree. Very much so. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that, hon. Court TV debunked audio January 10th. Okay, Andrew Bogner is saying that Court TV debunked the audio on January 10th of 2023.
Okay, so does anybody know the original date that Bullhorn Betty released this audio?
I don't. No, Alyssa, I'm putting a link in chat for you to click on, and then you'll just come right in here with us, and that way we can hear you clearly. You don't have to show your face. You can stay just like Jules is and like I am right now. I'll turn mine back on, but I'm just saying, like, you don't have to show your face or anything, dear.
Yeah, my 5-year-old will just jump in the camera every chance he gets, so I have to stay like this.
Like my granddaughter does when she's here too.
Mhm.
I get it. So yeah, I did see those too, Jeff. I'll pop those up too. Let me get Alyssa up here and then we'll go from there. Yeah, just click on that link and it should bring you right into it. And then once you come in here, you'll come backstage. I'll click yet. You'll come up here and then you'll shut down the YouTube in the background and you'll just leave StreamYard up when it pops you up here.
So Chick Antique stated that it was around January 5th that I guess Bullhorn Betty let Dolly release the audio.
Yeah,
That would have been 5 days before the court TV posting. Is that what you said? It was posted on the 10th.
January 10th, yes.
So it might be referencing this one if it's 5 days after Dolly and Betty released it.
Beginning of the year, Dago for audio from Bullhorn. Okay, thank you. No chains. And this fake audio was released very shortly after Joseph Morrison's. He probably gave others the idea. His was just basically someone screaming, "Leave me alone, stop," or something like that. And I mean, you could tell that was clearly not this, but
I mean, sadly, his was real audio that was used in a court case, but it had
oh
nothing
yeah,
to do
yeah,
with this whatsoever.
yeah. Well, why? What the hell is wrong with somebody that would do that anyway? You know
He
what I
did
mean?
this in Gabby's case. How he
I,
even had a following after the Gabby and Brian situation, I don't understand, but it tells
I
you
know.
the type of stuff that humans really want to be involved with.
Yeah, he's a mess. That dude.
He's
I hope
gross.
I hope he's gone now. I haven't seen or heard nothing from
I
him.
don't. I'm pretty sure I like hid his channel from my feed because he's just disgusting.
I did as well. Can you hear me, Alyssa? You might have to unmute your microphone, hon. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to get this working. We can see you. Can you hear us or hear me? And if not, you might have to go out and come back in. I agree, Tommy. I definitely agree.
You know, there's a that thou shalt not kill guy. He's in the. Oh, I don't know if he's still in the area. But I wonder if he went to go try to talk to these people that have this camera. I'll have to see if he's posted anything else.
If not, he probably should.
If he's still there, yeah. I know like one of his videos said he was kind of like traveling before or something about work. So I don't know. I don't think he's from
Right.
there. I think he just went there. So I don't know if he's still there or not.
There's another link for you, Alyssa, if you're having problems. Right below Daisy Dead. Well, Nelly B now. Good thinking, Jules. Yeah. Always. That's why we bring Jules up here. Her brain works better than mine does sometimes. That's a fact. All right, let's try this again. All right. Can you hear me, Alyssa? You have a microphone, hon? If this doesn't work, then you can just call me. But if you have a microphone and speakers, you should be able to hear me and be able to talk. I agree, Brittany. And down she goes. Okay. All right, let's try it this way. I just hate using my phone because it's hard to get it caught.
She said her microphone is on. You might have to look into your settings first because mine gave me issues with that before, and I had to open the little settings box next to where it says audio and camera and go in there and like test it first.
Podunk. I do too. It
Yeah,
still
me
works.
too.
I'm way out there. Like I think the cows have better Wi-Fi than I do. Lunchtime tuna sandwich sounds good. No worries, Alyssa. She said my wife is awful. My Wi-Fi. I got you. See, I have the same problem, dear. Don't worry about it. Don't ever get optimum internet if you have a choice. That's who I have, and I don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has the number at the bottom.
Yeah, that way it'll be quicker for you. I'm sorry. I was just trying to make it easier and clearer, but go for it. The number's right there. 234-703-4047. I'll make it as clear as I can.
Right, Caroline, but she might have not seen everybody if she's claiming that she just barely opened the door. So that
That's
was
the other thing. I don't even know if I believe that's even true either at this point. Okay.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I have had issues with what Dylan has said from the beginning, and then when this thing went down with Bethany, that made it even more.
Well, but really, is it really what Dylan has said, or is it what the cops are telling us Dylan has said? Because we ain't heard a word from her.
Oh, and
So we can't even guarantee that they're telling us exactly what she said.
right, because when I heard what she said, and everybody has said that, when I heard that she saw someone clad in black, no, she didn't say that, and then that she was in a shocked phase state or something, she didn't say that either.
Right. Yeah, they could have at least used the verbiage used by the witness or by the person giving the report instead of putting their military BS in there and then copying and pasting the entire thing.
Right.
It was. I don't care what a lot of people are saying. There's a lot of people that are acting like this PCA has got so much detail and so it's all the same stuff and none of it. It's all just crap.
100%.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
I definitely can. Hello, Alyssa. How are you?
I am good. This is my first going on a live, so.
That's okay. That's okay. This is the first. This is, believe it or not, this is my first time having you on a live with me. How about that?
Well, there we go. I was trying to get I don't know what I can't remember what her name is on there now. She's just got a YouTube channel. So,
Jules.
She was on yesterday. What is it? Think of something. I don't know. I can't remember what her name is on here. Let me see if she's on here. Going up through the comments. I'm sure she's commenting. She's actually Brat Norton on TikTok. You know her.
Oh, okay. I know.
Yeah, I've been talking to her. So we've been talking
there, hold on 1 second. Can you guys all hear her? Okay.
It's very staticky. It's the interference.
I live on top of a bluff and it's surrounded by trees, so I get nothing. So I'm trying to go to the corner of my house where I get Wi-Fi.
Okay, I'm just trying to keep you away from my microphone so that you don't do the whole that noise. So, all right, hold on. And you're gonna have to try to talk loud too if you can, hun, because it's very low.
Is that better?
No.
No. Great.
That was why I tried to bring
my iPad.
Whatever works for you, hon. That's why I was trying to bring you up on the panel because it'd be a lot clearer.
Yeah. Okay. Let me try my iPad, and then if that doesn't work, then I'll just text. So.
Okay. We will get this done one way or another.
Oh, there's still a lot. Okay, it's gone now. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I backed it up. What I need to do is I need to figure out why my oh my god, my mixing board is not allowing it to work. When I had that hooked up, it wouldn't let me do anything. So I have to rehook it in so that my phone will ring into that, and then you guys will hear it in the system rather than through the microphone.
There's a couple of people in the comments talking about that video I posted yesterday. Do you want to talk about that?
We can. We definitely can.
What do you think about it?
I love everything you do. So,
I just don't. I mean, I understand a lot of people are like, oh, well, they're not victims anyway. Okay. But why would Dylan be having victims' rights and Bethany doesn't? Why wouldn't they be matching protocol?
Very good point. And it was very interesting to me. For those, did you guys all see that? By the way, I hope you did.
I mean, with her apparently having exculpatory evidence, according to the defense, and now seeing that she doesn't have the same paperwork as everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting mix of details for sure.
Let me show this to you guys here real fast, and then we'll get Alyssa in here. 1 second, folks. I like your music, by the way.
Yeah, that's grabbed it from the YouTube studio.
That's where I get mine from too. But
Yeah, they actually
some of
have some pretty decent stuff.
oh, for sure. All right, folks. This was Jules's video from yesterday. I'll let you guys see this, and then we'll talk about this because it was interesting to me as to like everybody else. Well, you guys will see. Hold on. All right.
This one's going to be real quick and faceless because I was just
Oh,
going
echo,
through
echo,
the
echo.
case summary itself.
It is 13 pages
There
on
we
the
go.
Idaho Case of Interest website, and it is where they basically put in every piece of paper, every document, every motion, every file, everything that is associated with this case, regardless of if it is public access and redacted or not. Now, what we see, the clickable PDFs that we talk about on here, those are the ones that are public access where they've been redacted enough for us to be able to see them ourselves. But there is a lot of paperwork that gets added to the case file that we do not physically get to see. And I have gone on here a couple of times to do comparisons to what we have access to versus what they do show listed on this case summary that we do not have access to. And I honestly didn't notice this before. And I don't know how I didn't notice this. So I was going through, like I stated, this case summary page. And whenever you get down to the bottom of page 2, you can see where on the 3rd of January, a victim's rights notification form for DM, which we know to be Dylan Mortensen, was placed into the case file. Now, I find this interesting for quite a few reasons, and you're going to see why here in a minute. But one of the main reasons is because this is after Brian's arrest. So did they not consider her a victim prior to Brian being arrested? I just don't understand why she ended up getting one of these or why any of these documents actually were filed after Brian was arrested. I kind of understand the no contact forms because they would have to have the defendant's name on the forms for who wasn't being allowed to contact the victims and their families, right? That makes sense. But the victims notification forms themselves, I'm not quite understanding why those are dated after the arrest, but let's go ahead and go through some of these right here. And then you see on January 5th that there's a no contact order for DM, which of course, again, we know as Dylan Mortensen. Now, some of these other names and initials, I had to go in and look at families' names so I could refresh myself to make sure that I had it correct. So it shows that after DM's no contact order, there was one for a JK. Now that's Jeff Kernodle. That's Xana's father. Then there's one for BM and KC. Now that would be Maddie's father and his wife. Now, obviously, with all these G's, you can see that this is definitely the one for the Consalvis family. Then we have a no contact order for Bethany. Okay, seems pretty normal and legit so far, right? Then on January 5th, we have a no contact order for KL and SL. Now that's Maddie's mom and her husband. And then we have the SCJC, HC, and MC, which of course is the Chapin family. Then on 1/6, the next day, we have the victim's rights notification form for KL and SL, which again is Maddie's mom and stepfather. And then we have victims' rights notices for BM, which is again Maddie's father. And then all of the Chapin family got one separately. You know who doesn't have a victims' rights notification form? Bethany. Why wouldn't Bethany have a victims' rights notification form? And why is the defense claiming that Bethany has information that is considered exculpatory to the defendant while she's not getting a victims' rights notification form? It's a bit confusing to me, guys, but I want to know what you guys think. Let me know.
All right. So yeah. Why wouldn't she have one is what I want to know.
Yeah, and I had someone comment about the fact that they noticed that Kaylee's family didn't have one either, and I think Xana's family didn't have one either, which, okay, cool. But why does Dylan and not Bethany? Or why do they both not have one? Or why do they both have one? Like, I get the point they're trying to make, but those families were not in the house at the time that this happened, like we're being told by the
Right.
cops these two were. So why are they not being handled the exact same way?
They,
And
they
then
should,
someone said, "Oh, well, isn't she in Nevada? Maybe that's why." No, it doesn't matter where she lives. This would have been a
she's
document that was in this case, and regardless of where it was sent, it would have been placed in the case summary if it existed.
exactly. I absolutely agree with that. Hello?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I hope this is louder and not staticky. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Is this better?
It is to me. Let me keep it away from my microphone and hope that that's loud enough. Go ahead and say.
Yeah, I turned off all my stuff, so I figured that may have been the issue.
All right.
Yeah,
Can you-
I get very, very little static, but I can hear her.
Okay. I'm missing trying to keep it away from the mic. Okay. Go ahead, hon.
Okay, I don't know what you were talking about because I haven't been looking. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
we were just going over.
But no, I mean like everything that like these cops are putting out, like the picture with the corner club, like the time was off. So it's like I looked into it and like you zoom in on that picture, it doesn't look right. Like it looks like I can take somebody's face and put it over somebody else's face in another photo and I can blend it in.
Okay, so you're
it's like their face, but you can tell that it's that face doesn't fit that body. If you know what I'm saying. So it's like
you think it was photoshopped?
Yeah, it's almost like it's altered in a way, and it's just like then the timestamp was off, so that somebody noticed that.
From November 13 at.
Okay. Well, let me pull that up real quick, and we'll see what you're looking at. You're talking about this photo right here.
The one where he's sitting. Yeah, I mean from what my understanding is, from what I've like read and like listened to on other people's stuff, is that he had gotten back into drugs real bad and lost like a lot of weight. But it's like, if you think about it, he's not a dumb person. He has a Purple Heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can do little things to alter yourself.
Well, yeah. Here. Not to interrupt you, but real quick, I did about 2 months ago, I think it was. I went over and analyzed this picture, and I pulled up side by sides of Jack Decor with this guy right here. Okay, we know that this is Maddie. We know that this is Kaylee. And he has the exact same hat, and you can tell by looking at the colorization. Like Adam has dark hair, like black hair, over here in the corner. Jack has like a reddish tint, like a reddish brown color to his hair, and that's what this is. This is like that reddish. He's got a very distinct face, and that hat is identical. And those shoes I matched up with him in the one picture of his too. So this here is Jack Decor. This is supposedly Jack Showalter. This is the bar owner. This is Adam. I don't know who these guys are or who this is either. Now somebody had pointed out to me and said, I don't know because there's no verification of it, that this here they thought was Brant Kopaka. I don't know that. Okay. So
yeah, I don't know either. I'm just saying. I also think that one. My theories are crazy. So, but the thing about it is, it's like I haven't like things that are coming out. It's like what I've seen and like what I'm like going into. It's like I haven't been. Not saying not been wrong because I have been a lot, but it's like things are. My crazy thoughts are not untrue.
No, I get it.
It's just like, and I just don't understand like why they're hiding so much. For some reason, it's like if you got caught in a lie, and then you.
This is Adam, but
No, I don't think that's Adam.
Everybody has said that was Adam, but it could not be. I don't know.
Because if he's the bartender, he wouldn't be sitting in the corner. He'd been.
Well, that's what I thought too. But everybody's told me. They go, that's Adam. That's Adam. I'm like, okay, fine, that's Adam. But why would he be sitting over there talking to the owner if he's working the bar? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know that there was like some discrepancy with the owner at first because of how much he looks like Chief Fry's freaking twin. But then we found photos and stuff of him actually outside of the corner club, and they just look a hell of a lot alike. Because at first, people really thought that was Fry at the bar.
All right. Bonnie Messick says that Adam was a bouncer too.
Isn't that funny? How everybody's got a twin there, and they're all named the same, like
doppelgangers, and they all have Jacks and Jakes.
Is like there's two different Emmas that are friends with Ashland Couches that are two different Ashland Couches.
It is very. This whole thing is odd. Very odd.
I don't know.
Very, very odd.
I mean, yeah, I guess it could be Adam. It does kind of look like him. I just don't know what he had on that night. I don't remember if we were really able to tell
Like
from anything about what he actually was wearing that day. I don't think we don't really have pictures of him at all from that night, do we?
No, and
I
that's
don't know.
I will tell you that's definitely not Brian Koberger right there.
Oh hell no,
Somebody-
it's not. No, it's not.
Definitely not Brian Koberger. No. And I'm only saying that because I can tell his septum isn't deviated, and Koberger did not have. This is a pretty boy look. Koberger had a longer face and just a different.
Well, and not
already-
only that, they have his phone records from that entire day that they've matched to try to figure out where he was. And I think if they had him GPS located at the corner club that same night, they'd have put that in the PCA as well. There's no way
Right.
they wouldn't have.
Well, let me do this since we have this picture up though. I'm gonna throw you guys something. So let's go with this photo. Okay, this is I'm sorry, 1:32 a.m. at the corner club, right? You look at the timestamp down in the bottom. It is on November 13th. There it is. We got Adam. We got the owner of the bar. We got Jackson, which he was clearly, we know who that is because he looks that way all the way to the end of the night. Then we got the girls, and we got Jack Decor over here. Okay. So at one point, obviously, Maddie went talking to him and told him something that got her upset, which, in my opinion, is the whole reason why she was texting from the bar to the grub truck insanely even at the grub truck, trying to get something to do with him.
And even they called him 10 times.
Right.
That didn't come out of nowhere. And like, I know the family's like, oh, she'll call you in the middle of the night just to find out what she wants to eat. No, that's not what this situation was. And it's obvious.
Yeah. Something went on in this bar this night. There was a conversation had. They're talking to him pretty in-depthly too. Okay. And then she went talking to him. And then she wants to know what the hell they talked about. Well, she says she told him everything. If this is Adam, by the way, I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. And then they try to get, which, by the way, if this is Adam, this is his roommate. Okay. Yeah. And they're in the bar together. I'm going to guess that they left together when the bar closed. If they're going to go home.
My question too, though, like if they were in the bar together, why didn't Jack walk her home? Why wasn't Jack seen taking her home? Like, you see them here, they're talking, he's smiling, so obviously they're not arguing. Why wouldn't he have taken that opportunity with her back in town last minute to take her home?
Or
why did he call her parents?
Here's the thing. Or this smile is maybe he's laughing at them, and maybe, I mean, look at Kaylee's stance. She very well could be standing there telling him off. Okay. And Maddie's just being Maddie, standing there with her. We don't know. I'm just saying. I don't want to make stuff up.
It's there and it's photoshopped in. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Photoshop is a crazy thing.
Well, it could be. You're right.
It's like everybody is putting faces on Brian Kober with his eye. It's like, you know, it's like he's guilty.
Don't
make his eyes look weird. Like,
right.
For no reason. I don't know.
No, I understand, but this is a CCTV. Still, I mean, it's a still of a video, but it still could be. I mean, I've heard of crazier things, whatever. You know what I mean? Who knows? But the point is like, based on what these two girls talked about on their way to the grub truck, something was talked about that obviously upset somebody. I'm going to venture to say him, because she did not stop texting him the whole way to the grub truck and was still texting getting in the car. And then they tried to call him 10 times. Like Jules said, what the hell was it that was so important? That's been driving me nuts. And then he's not answering his phone. He was talking to them there, but he's not answering his phone, and didn't answer his phone right away in the morning either.
Yeah. See, and that's I've always been brought back to the one interview that the family did, because it sounded, the way they tried to make it sound anyway, was about how the girls were found in the same bed together, and they were talking about the phone calls and stuff, and they made it sound as if Kaylee was trying to like go over to Jack's, you know? And then he didn't answer the phone, so then it was like, okay, well, I guess we're just bunking together. Like, it wasn't the original plan. She thought she was maybe going to go over to Jack's and do her thing with Jack, and then she wouldn't even have been there that night if that would have been the way that it went, which is maybe a reason why we see Steve looking at, you know, him a certain way You know, he probably
That-
has his
that-
own feelings about that. But that's why I go back to the question about the alibi guy, because where is he in this photo? Because if he was their alibi, that means they would have had to been together all night, not just whatever. And if they ended up getting fast food after this and going home after the bar, where's he?
I mean, didn't Kim say Jack was Adam's alibi? Or Adam, one of the two was each other's alibi.
No,
Somebody,
there's a third.
yeah, there's somebody else.
Yeah, there's a third that's an alibi for both of them, apparently.
Oh, well, I thought Jack was asleep with his friends while their friends were downstairs playing games while there's screaming going on.
I heard something.
That's what Tim said.
Logically to me, so.
And I have never been. I'm not accusing anybody, guys. I'm not always right. I mean, I've been pretty decent with some of the things I've said. I personally did not clear him. Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
Because I've not ever liked this situation based on where he lived and how close he was and the way that this all went down. I personally never cleared him. Okay. And I'm still not clearing him. Girl said you're right, then laughs. Wasn't Kaylee, but Emma.
Oh, they must be talking about that audio.
Oh, okay. Gotcha, Tommy.
The thing with that audio is, I mean, I think a lot of it, so I think the first part of it is altered because it's too clear and then the rest of it's not. The
Okay.
one, that fake one is, and you do know, at least from I've heard and read, is that, you know, like each other, like Fry's wife works at the police station or the courthouse, so does Payne. And I'm pretty sure Payne's wife is in charge of all the body cam footage stuff. I'm just
Right.
saying.
Well, we're gonna look at
And
that's the next thing we're doing is we're pulling up Blaker's report from that day, the affidavit, and we're gonna look at this because something doesn't match up with that either. I mean, this whole thing, all of the affidavits are a mess, in my opinion. But before that one, read before that one you read of Tommy's. Okay, hold on a minute. 1 second. Sorry. Girl, okay, there's
it's like
another
they
one.
get so much, they give a little bit of truth to like a lot of their cover up, and that's the whole issue with nobody believing each other and getting into arguments. I just feel like it's like the Emma, like all these people with the same names, and then like the Bethany chick, and that Emily girl, they look just alike. I mean, people are mistaking her picture for Bethany and Bethany. It's not.
Tom,
And,
hold on, hon. Tommy, what do you mean we know everything? Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. That's what was being discussed. Maddie flushed dope and lots of it. Oh shit.
I heard that.
Oh yeah, see, that's one of the theories here is that Maddie would have gotten rid of a bunch of stuff.
I heard, yeah, listen, I get secret messages from people too.
Yeah.
That have no names, which I'm okay with that. But a no name person sent me a message that said that the person just put M, so that I'm guessing Maddie supposedly flushed a huge bag of fentanyl pills. Okay. I don't know how true that is. I don't know anything about that. It was just I'm guessing it's rumor. I get like multiple things like that. So
Yeah,
that's what's being discussed right here. That Maddie flushed that. Is that what you're saying, Tommy? And then we go down to another one that says we know everything. Meaning, in the audio that they said we know everything. And then when she says, Maddie, what did you say to Adam? I told Adam everything. I've been saying that this is drug related from the beginning, but it is what it is.
Okay, but now Tommy's saying over $200,000 worth. Okay, so where is the specifics of that coming from? Because that's a big detail with an actual numeric.
No, not 200,000, 200G, or maybe that is 200,000. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
That's
know.
a lot of damn pills,
I
bro.
mean, that's specific though. So where is that actually coming from for there to be something specific? Like someone from inside that circle would have to have said that somewhere for there to be a number you can count on.
Right. Well,
Oh, I
then
know. That's crazy.
I
There
mean,
is a lot. There's so much. I looked on like the sex offender thing. There's like 40 sex
oh,
offenders
okay.
within,
Tommy
like, a
said it's
5-mile radius, and
it
a lot
was.
of them, they all have drug charges. There's so much trafficking. I'm just like, how do these kids get into all this?
He said it was coke, not pills. How the hell do you flush 200 grams worth of cocaine down?
And where did the specifics of what it was come from?
Call the
See,
septic?
that's what I always get. Like I always get all these messages, but then like no one's telling me where it's coming from, where it originated from, how close the source is. Like I just can't go off of anything.
Why would anybody do that? Here's my other thing: is why would anyone? Why would they flush that much drugs? And for what reason?
I mean, anybody with common sense would know that would get you killed.
Oh, well, unless you handed over the money for it.
Well, I mean that, but it says then again, you got 2 girls in the house that have parents that have a lot of drug problems. So I mean, I honestly wouldn't want that in there either. So I don't know. I mean, kids don't think sometimes. Not, I don't know. It's just human behavior anymore. It's like a lot of these kids don't have common sense, and I just think they do things not thinking about consequences later on because they don't think it's a big deal because they don't know what they're
Owner
doing.
gets delivery of kilos and the kids busted up. Okay.
But
I just
this is all
read
getting
MVD
bad
sold their
everywhere, but I mean, I don't know how
Idaho.
that's
It's
not as
the
bad as
odds
there,
with
but I was
two
wondering why there was no
LLCs
fight on
recently
that
donated the
FedEx
hospital.
truck or UPS. They could be coming in the mouth. I don't know. I know people that's been.
Listen, Tommy, do you have any kind of? I mean, I wouldn't expect you to put it out here like out here, but do you have anything you could bring to me, maybe privately, that could prove some of this stuff, or is this just like based on stuff you've been told, bud?
Yeah.
Kaylee, I'm seeing these comments, and nobody's saying Kaylee and Maddie or anybody were druggies, but I mean, come on, did anybody do anything stupid in college?
Everybody did.
I mean, like they could have been like parties. It's just like
Everybody, we all did dumb things when we were kids.
They have no idea how cool the world is. It's internet, social media, and TikTok. They don't think about the cartel.
Emma, you're right.
Like
Big
that.
laugh. Demetrius says to Maddie, we know everything. Okay. So what are we saying, that Maddie went and told Adam, hey, I did this, got rid of that. Like it was a secret, maybe. Oh, okay. And then it was, I see what we're talking. We're doing a whole, okay, I get it. I mean, I truly do believe this was over drugs. I do. Okay, because that is the one common denominator that has everything to do with everything in this case. Okay, in some form or fashion. There really would be no other reason. I said this a long time ago. What happens when you mess with somebody's money? They get angry. Okay, drugs are big money. Period. So if somehow or another, some form or fashion, somebody messed with somebody's drugs, or messed with somebody's money by stopping some form of, a deal or something like that, that would piss somebody off enough to do something like that. I could see, depending on how much money it was, of course.
So okay, but you'd have to hone in on the domino effect for this conversation.
Right. That's it right there.
So if there's something that was being said to Adam that Maddie that Maddie said to Adam, that Kaylee was upset that Maddie said to Adam, and then we're wondering about Jack, and it can't be about pills being flushed down the toilet, because Kaylee wouldn't be having some sort of like conniption fit of the heart trying to get a hold of Jack because, oh crap, Maddie just said something that Jack shouldn't know. I feel like that would have been a more like of a personal level type situation. So I personally just don't see how this, whatever conversation they were talking about, could have been drug related, unless Jack is in on the game too.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
But I still don't see any proof of that. I don't see anything that can back any of that up. We didn't even know anything about Xana even possibly doing any sort of dealing before Dave came out. And even then, that was before. It sounds like actually the way the timeline looks, if she really was dealing, it seems as if she stopped around the same time her and Ethan got together.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
would have been a long time ago and wouldn't have been relevant to this situation anymore.
Right. Ethan was a no nonsense. He wasn't into that kind of shit, in my opinion. So
Yeah, and they got together around spring of 22, and according to Dave, that's around the last time that Xana was dealing anything, if she was dealing at all. So it seems like it would have been null and void for a while.
And somebody in here said Salty said unless Kaylee was scared because of that situation. And they were maybe that's why they were trying to get a hold of Jack.
But if he was being told something that was told to him by Adam and he was frantically getting phone calls from the woman that he swears he's going to marry, why wouldn't he have answered the phone knowing she could be in danger?
That's the other side of it too. I mean, yeah, I
Well,
can.
I don't think he
Yeah,
was there. I don't think he was in town. I don't.
that you don't. Well,
I
that
think he was at that bar.
I can promise you that's him, hon. But I understand what you're saying. I like I said, I pulled side by sides up that they matched. He even has that stupid look on his face in the other picture too. I'm not a fan of his, if you can't tell. Never have been. There's something about him I just don't like.
No, I get it, but I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. Everybody has a twin. Like everybody has a twin. I don't know there. It's like I've never seen so many like people that look alike in my life, and they all have the same name and they all date Jack.
The most recent picture I saw of Brent Kopaka, he was a lot more. He was a lot skinnier than that, and kind of was scraggly, like nothing. You know, I'm not trying to talk ill of the dead, but he was. His hair was longer and scragglier, and had a kind of scraggly beard. Was the last picture I saw of him, and I was told that was a recent picture.
I think he shaved. I honestly think he. I mean, I had seen a picture that looked like him. I can't remember if I even have it still. I have to go back. I have so many screenshots more of this case than of like own kids, but I don't know that he had shaved at one point. Actually, let me send you this one, and you can tell me if you think this is him.
Yeah, no problem.
Everybody keeps saying that it's Kopaka's cousin. I'm just like, really? So he has a cousin that looks just like him, but skinnier there, but hanging out with two girls.
Well, I got a picture of somebody sent me of a guy wearing a baseball cap, mustache.
It may have been me, and I am pretty sure that is him, and he's just skinnier because he got on drugs pretty hardcore, from my understanding. And him and Pam were still friends, and they were in things. I don't know. I'm conspirating, but like things aren't making sense either way. For one, so it's like
That's what promotes all the conspiracies and the rabbit holes, is because we don't. Everybody wants to make sense of this, and they can't because of the things that we don't have. You know what I mean? That's why this happens, and that's why it gets so deep.
Yeah, and honestly, I do have a cousin that is just a skinnier version of me, and we're like barely even related, but people think we're sisters because we look so much alike, and it's been like that since 5th grade. So it is very possible that it is just,
Me too.
cousin. Yeah.
all this damage from not even from around here. I don't think. I think his parents' mom was in Colorado, and I know I've stuff on background, but and then like he has so many addresses. Like I know they're close to me actually. So in some park and up in Illinois, it's like up by Chicago. So he lived everywhere. But obviously he's in the Marines, I think.
Right. No, I understand.
But
I just not really well.
Like too many unanswered questions, and nobody's answering them. But they only answer questions when it benefits their life. In a way, like the cops didn't care about any car, didn't have anybody until that gas station photo, and then they freaked out, and then all of a sudden everything changed. And that's when I was like, okay, something's going on here. So I just didn't believe everything that they said. I was for the opposite.
Do you have that, Bubbly, by chance? Those reports? No, I get it. Alyssa, I understand. There's been a lot. We've all put our heads into this, and like it's crazy the things that people can come out with, and so on and so forth. Hey, what's up, Walt? Good to see you. Was there anything else that you wanted to say about anything, Alyssa?
No, that was about it. So you have that video, the audio part. It's like whenever you get off live, listen to it like on Bluetooth or your headset, and like you're gonna be able to hear it better. It's just I had to send it in a certain format for YouTube.
Yeah, that's fine.
The audio, but I can send you guys better.
No problem. No problem at all. None whatsoever. I appreciate you calling though. I'm gonna have to hang this up because I guess it's causing everybody to sound like they said they're in a bug zapper. So I appreciate you calling. I appreciate. No, it's all right. It's all fine. I appreciate your input and your theories and opinions as well, every one of you guys. So thank you very much for calling in, hon.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye bye. I will make a different and easier way to do this if people can't jump up here on the thing soon. I promise, folks. All right, so where were we, Jules?
I got to get my kid a snack. Hold on.
No, take your time. Go ahead. You know, that's something else that kind of bothered me too. Who said that? Just MJ? Yeah, think about this for a minute, guys. Dave did say this. Life is going on per usual. Nothing seems to have affected anybody. Nothing's changed. People are still going out and doing their things, doing this, doing that. Doesn't anybody seem to think that's weird? I do.
Yeah,
I mean,
he did say that.
It's just odd to me. Like if something like this happened around here, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like everybody would lock themselves down. It's odd to me. Like why is it not a big deal? Or
Yeah.
they don't want it to be.
Well, I mean, he made it seem as if they were paying attention at first, and then then all the crazy like rumors and stuff started going on, and it like that's what kind of made them just like shut down and stop following it. And then they talked about it a little bit more after Brian was arrested because they were comparing photos and asking, anybody recognize this guy? No. But then, so that really isn't like too abnormal to me, but it's more like Dave is making it sound like now that he's asking questions, people are shutting him down, not answering him. I mean, it's one thing to, try to just get back to normal as a, a young college person. And especially if the school is trying to like do as much as they can, I guess, to like make sure that people are accommodated for what they need during the situation. But to like run from a question, run from answering how you feel about something. I do find it strange that even with all these things now, and even with this official information coming out that they can all see, they're not asking the same questions along with Dave. So that's what's really kind of striking me more is that, okay, no one knows this guy. No one can see a connection. No one can figure out what's really, really for real. What's up?
And I have been told also that the school has been telling people not to talk about it. They don't want to hear people running around talking about it and this and that. Now, I don't know that that's true, but I could hear that being said. I could see that being said by school officials. Like, we don't want this talked about. We don't want this out there. We don't want that out there. You're going to scare people away, things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and based on what he's saying, I mean, I could almost put that together with that and say, okay, people maybe don't want to talk because they're afraid to, whether they're afraid to talk about things due to having a fear of somebody else or a fear of, getting reprimanded through the school somehow for it, which I think that would be ridiculous. But at this point, what isn't ridiculous? Okay. So again, I don't know. I did want to look at this again, if you don't mind. Do you have a few moments to go over this with me too?
Mm-hmm.
And point out some things in this that I was uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
This is the statement from Dustin Blaker, the other officer, folks. Blaker showed up at the scene at 4 something, I believe, when Payne showed up. Okay, so this
they got there together.
Now I'm going to read this and point out certain things. You guys can point it out. I can't see the chat. I don't know if you can or not, Jules, but you can call things off of chat if you want to.
Okay.
All right, so the below information is provided by Sergeant Dustin Blaker. I am a duly appointed, qualified, and acting peace officer within the county of Latah, state of Idaho. I always do that. Idaho. I am employed by Moscow Police Department in the official capacity or position of sergeant. I have been a trained and qualified peace officer for approximately 22 years. I attended the Idaho Peace Officers Training Academy from January 2000 to March of 2000. Then completed a 6-week field training program where I was released in July of 2000. During my 16 years of law enforcement, I have attended, see, none of this was in the first thing, but okay. Additional training, including basic narcotics training, which trained me in handling high-level cases. I have conducted many search warrants. I have assisted with previous homicide investigations while at Moscow Police Department. Maybe the other gentleman that was stabbed to death, or the other that were stabbed to death that they were just talking about today, which is a case I didn't know about. Asian American, they were saying. Maybe that's what he's talking about there.
Maybe.
Okay, on November 13th, 2022, at approximately 4 p.m., Moscow Police Department Corporal Brett Payne and I responded to 1122 King Road, Moscow, hereafter the King Road residence, to assist with scene security and processing of a crime scene associated with 4 homicides. Upon our arrival, the Idaho State Police forensic team was on scene and was preparing to begin processing the scene. That's a problem for me right there. Why were they preparing to?
Yeah.
What the hell have they been doing for 4 hours?
That's
5
what, yep.
hours?
Yep. I said
Okay.
the same thing. That was odd. 4 hours. You didn't let EMS in. You've got these 3 cops with Brady Giglio violations against them walking around the house doing what? Apparently there was other people in the house. So what are these other cops doing with these other people in the house for 4 freaking hours?
They didn't swab anybody. They didn't question all them people. So what the hell were you guys doing? Nothing. Standing there? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I don't understand. They need to explain. They
Yep.
better explain at some
Yeah.
point that noon to 4, because that's a problem too.
100%. Was preparing to begin processing the scene. MPD officer OFC Smith was one of the initial responding officers to the incident, advised he would walk me through the scene. That's weird to me too, but okay.
Can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
I know we haven't gotten to that point yet, but most people know about this anyway. The knife sheath thing. This is what always has bothered me with that too, because if ISP was already there and they were preparing to process the scene at the time that these idiots showed up, that means they haven't walked through to find the knife sheath that ISP later tells MPD about after they see it.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
They weren't walking through with ISP, or ISP wouldn't have pointed out while they were there, hey, bro, look, there's a knife sheath under this body. Why did you find it later? Why were you informed about it later?
Now, here's the thing, and I'm not accusing folks. I'm giving you a scenario which opens a door for something that shouldn't be. Okay? 4 hours has gone by from the first initial police involvement in this, okay? Then all of a sudden, there comes the knife sheath. Well,
and a cleaned up shoe print.
Yes, it very well could have been put there, folks. I'm not saying it was, and please don't take that and run with that narrative. But in that 4-hour period of time, it very well could have been slid in there or said, look what I found after 4 hours, because nobody else saw it. Okay, that's the problem. And that's what I don't like about this. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And that it is what has made me go to the side of things, I guess you could say, that I have. I mean, it's all ridiculous. Anyway.
There's large gaps in more than one part of this. Like we have it with the phone call, the 911 call, then we have it with this situation, and then we have this weird out of the way that they're trying to tell us that Brian took there that doesn't make any logical sense, because then they have him going the normal route at 9 o'clock in the morning. So why would you go off route then? And then there's a bunch of just gaps.
Yeah, Amy, thank you for saying that. I'm not going to go into that at this moment, but yeah. So the OFC Smith and I entered the King Road residence through the bottom floor door on the north side of the building. OFC Smith and I then walked upstairs to the second floor. OFC Smith directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned through Xana's driver's license and other personal belongings found in the room was Xana Kernoodle's. Like, that's just odd to me that that's how he learned that, but okay. Hereafter,
Like, wouldn't he have been told, hey, we've got this person, this person, this person, and this person, and these two are alive, and they're the one? Yeah, why was he told that by ID and not by 4 hours of you being there, and you couldn't have told him the people's names?
yep,
Yeah.
you had to look at the ID to figure that out. And if that's not true, then why did you word it that way? That's just stupid. I'm sorry. Anyway, so found in the room was Xana Kernoodle's Raptor's Kernoodle room. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernoodle's, laying on the floor. Kernoodle was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Not a knife, an edged weapon. Anyway, and that has always bothered me as well. Also in the room was a male, later identified as Ethan Chapin. Hereafter, Chapin also was deceased with wounds later determined. Autopsy report was provided by Spokane County Medical Examiner Vina Singh, dated December 15th of 2022, to be caused by sharp force injuries. Again, that's not a knife. But anyway.
Yeah, and then that's also a month after. A
Right.
whole other autopsy report a month after, and we still have no answer to if this exact same coroner did a report on all of them or just Ethan. Because this is strange to me. Why is it only mentioned in this one part about Ethan?
That's right. That is absolutely correct. Anyway, I then followed OFC Smith upstairs to the third floor of the residence. The third floor consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee Goncalves, hereafter Goncalves' room. I later learned from review of Officer Nunez's body cam. Okay. Now, stop for a minute. I later learned, where did it go? From review of Officer Nunez's body cam, there was a dog in the room. Why is any other body cam info mentioned in this from the beginning till just now? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's the only place you hear about body cam footage.
Yeah.
And that he learned about the dog from that. Why is there no mention of body cam footage anywhere else?
Or why didn't he know about the dog already? Was the dog already not there whenever the detectives showed up? Because who's to say that that dog didn't actually have evidence on them if the detectives didn't put eyes on them themselves and just saw it through the body cam?
Exactly.
And also in this is what really bothers me is that it says that the dog was found in Kaylee's room. Okay, well, obviously we need to know if the door was shut or not. Who would have put the dog in Kaylee's room? Because I highly doubt that Kaylee would have locked her dog in her other room and then fell asleep in Maddie's room without her freaking dog. Like, I don't see that being a thing. So all of that still needs to be answered, and it doesn't make sense.
And other people have
dog
said
was behind a closed door in Kaylee's room. Kaylee wouldn't, I'm telling you now, I'll bet my check on it. Kaylee would not have been the one to have left that dog in there overnight while she was sleeping in Maddie's room. There's no way. So
the dog would have been with her
behind the door.
Right. That's right. Exactly. Again, these things are problems, folks. I was gifted a membership on a channel that hates me. I hope they realize I'm just expressing my opinion. I hope you're not talking about here. We don't hate you. I'm not sure what you meant by that, hun. PCA is crap. They all are. I agree. That's a fact. Yeah, that dog was not going to be away from her unless somebody took that dog away from her, period. I mean, they were always together. That's fact. So, there was a dog in the room when Moscow officers initially responded. Okay. And then he was gone. Got you. The dog belonged to Goncalves, her ex-boyfriend, Jack DeCour. I found out from Corporal Payne's interview with Jack DeCour on November 13th that he and Goncalves shared the dog. Where is that at, by the way? Have you seen anything, any form of an interview between Payne and him?
Mm-mm.
Why?
And I'm guessing this would have been after 4 o'clock that he would have interviewed Jack. Like Jack would have been on scene probably.
So Jack was there all day long and waited for Payne to have the interview? Why? I'm going to guess he was there all day long.
Yeah.
That's just weird to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reaching, but that seems weird to me. And the fact that we've not seen any form of an interview as part of the affidavit, why? I would guess maybe, I don't know, whatever. Again, like I said, maybe I'm just reaching. But anyway, That he and Goncalves shared the dog. OFC Smith then pointed out a small bathroom on the east side of the third floor. This bathroom shared a wall with Maddie Mogan's hereafter Mogan bedroom, which was situated on the southeast corner of the third floor. As I entered this bathroom, I could see two females in the single bed in the room. Both Goncalves and Mogan were deceased with visible stab wounds. Okay, now again, guys, remember what I said about verbiage and language? Okay, now right here, I could see that they were deceased with visible stab wounds. Back up here, it says
Yeah.
it's different verbiage.
Three different descriptions of wounds.
Exactly. Okay. So were Maddie and Kaylee stabbed and the other two were not? That's what I'm saying. This is what is wrong to me about this. And it's bugging the shit out of me. I'm sorry. Both Goncalves and Mogan were deceased with visible stab wounds. I was later advised by ISP investigators that they located a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Mogan's right side.
See, and if they got there at the same time, they were starting to prepare to process the scene at the same time. Why wouldn't that have been a conversation that was had amongst them in the house?
Thank you. Why not? That's a problem. Big problem. Red flag. Sorry. When viewed, okay, it was on Maddie's right side when viewed from the door. See, the way I had heard it before was that it was tucked under her left side and that Kaylee was laying across her, okay, as if she had been knocked down or fallen on top of Maddie. So I don't know.
Does this even state that actually? Does this even say that they were?
No.
Yeah, we heard that from the parents, did we not?
Yes.
That Kaylee was on top of Maddie, right?
Okay. Yes. Yep. And then multiple other, I think, I don't know how many other channels I heard it from.
Yeah. I know it's been basically the consensus here for a while.
The sheath was later processed and had K-Bar USMC on the United States Marine Corps globe anchor insignia stamp on the outside of it. The Idaho State Lab later located a single source of male DNA left on the button snap of the knife sheath. Now, is that even true?
That's what I was about to say, bro. I don't even think that's damn true.
It's not.
Like, I have a video I'm putting together on this when it comes to trying to figure out the genealogical stuff and just like the information that we are getting. I know it's coming from, Dateline sources and this source and this source and this source, but the only reason I'm still on the fence about how important it is, not really about how important it is, but of its existence, because there's a lot of people telling me, oh, it doesn't even exist, there was no family tree. Okay, well, that's the genetic testing that they're literally talking about in the documents on both sides. The defense and the state are talking about the genealogical testing. This is the part that I don't believe, because we've heard that a Texas lab was involved, that Othram Labs was involved, but in what part of this, we don't know. And then we also heard in the beginning that they couldn't find a damn thing on the knife sheath. And then all of a sudden they found this. Oh, that means that the Idaho State Lab didn't find nothing. Okay. And then whenever you go through the warrants, the one for the Moscow Police Department is after Brian's arrest, and it's for his freaking phone data. The only other lab warrant they have is for Coeur d'Alene, and it is completely sealed. It doesn't give you the date that it was submitted. It doesn't give you the details on what they're looking for. So was Coeur d'Alene? I don't believe Coeur d'Alene is the same thing as Idaho State Lab. I feel like they're different, right? Because whenever I tried to look them both up, they're showing me different addresses and stuff.
They are different. Yeah. At least they're listed as different. 100%.
Yeah, they're listed differently. So, I could be wrong on that. They might be the same lab, but I can't find anything that's telling me that they are the same lab. So if the original rumor was they didn't find anything on the knife sheath, and then now suddenly they have something on the knife sheath, well, Idaho State Lab couldn't find it. So who found it?
Right. And if
what company actually did the genealogical family tree thing, because that doesn't necessarily mean that the Texas lab is the one who did that part. They work cold cases. So was his profile sent over there to try to see if he was just included in other cases and a whole nother company did the genetics? There's a lot of missing here. It's driving me absolutely nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. A whole lot. And that's the thing that I was saying, is because this right here, the Idaho State Lab, based on what we understand, they're not the ones that found the DNA, like you just said. Thank you very much, Amy, and I agree with you. Nothing makes sense. You're absolutely correct. So that should be retracted and rewritten, whatever you want to put it in there, as to who actually did find the DNA on the staff and so on and so forth. I agree with that 100%. So it's very frustrating. This whole thing is very frustrating. I'm sorry. I'd like to go shake the person and like just tell the damn truth and all of the truth and walk away. That's all I want to say. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, because if they really think they got their guy, then why not just come out and be like, this lab did this and this lab did this and that
Right,
lab did this?
right.
How is that like breaking apart the integrity of the case? It's not. It has
It's not
nothing
at
to
all.
do with his motive, his means, or if he actually did it or not. It just tells us
Right.
how they actually got the DNA match. How is that
Yep.
hard?
Not at all. Hold on 1 second, Jules. I'll be right back.
Okay. They're whited out because this was done before Brian's arrest. I mean, even though we already knew everybody's names, but yeah, it was kind of pointless, honestly. Yeah, I know all about Othram Labs, but this is my thing here. What would this little startup have that the FBI don't? Why are you sending that all the way to Texas if that's true? The FBI is closer and they are supposed to have like top of the line, yeah, stuff that we as civilians don't get to access for years after the government's been using it, right? So I just don't see how a little startup could have something better than what the FBI could do. So that's always been a little strange.
Okay, I'm here. Sorry about that. Okay. Anyway, as part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Moscow police, department officers, Idaho State Police detectives, and FBI agents. 2 of the interviews included BF. Hereafter, BF, and why does that look like that was wrote in after the fact? It was. Okay. DM, hereafter DM, both BF and DM were inside the King Road residence at the time of the homicides and were roommates. Okay, so that's telling us right then and there that Bethany and Dylan were inside the home at the time of the homicide. So
Yeah.
that had been questioned in the beginning. Were they there? Were they not there? Were they there?
Yeah.
Were they there? You know what I mean?
Well, and then it brings it back to what we're hearing now, because if they're trying to say that Dylan's account is definitely her seeing Brian and it can't be anything else, and she did this and this is what she heard and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But then apparently the other roommate has exculpatory evidence stating that it wasn't Brian.
Yep.
I would love to know what this exculpatory stuff is, because that's a huge word to be putting out there if it's not accurate.
So bad. I want to know so bad.
Me too.
It's driving me nuts. I really do. And here's the thing, you guys, that has me beyond pissed off. Okay. When the grand jury indictment went down, I'm sure that whenever, because, Bethany tried to quash this whole thing, or no, yeah, Bethany, I keep getting them mixed up, tried to quash this whole thing and blah, 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 to have them. So they gave permission for defense to go and interview her in Nevada, correct? I can promise you that the moment they said, yeah, you can, they were gone, they did it, but now it can't be used. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. Like, I've seen a couple of people state that, but we still have a trial.
Well, at that point, yeah. But
yeah, I mean, it's going to be until then that we actually hear what's going on. But why isn't the prosecution trying to interview them both in this manner? Because shouldn't we be seeing the prosecution also be trying to talk to Bethany, especially since they know there's damn well they know what he has stated. So wouldn't the prosecution just love to know what this exculpatory evidence is? And instead of trying to manage their own interview with her, they then demand the alibi from the defense. So they're not even willing to do their own work to see what's being said here. And that's what makes me like super disgusted with this. It's like the second they were like, oh crap, she's going to end up getting interviewed anyway, we have to do something, pop grand jury.
Yeah, right. And then I think you asked this before, but I have never in my life heard of prosecution demanding an alibi from anybody Where is that?
And it was brought out. It's in all caps, that freaking paragraph.
Where has that even happened ever? Never have I ever heard of that. And I looked back, to check that. Never
Well,
seen it.
I mean, it could be possible because most people give the damn alibi, and maybe Brian's just refusing it for some reason.
Well, I think he's trying to completely keep himself detached from this, thinking that if he does this, I think he's trying to prove a point that I had nothing to do with this at all, which is what the whole standing silent meant and all that other stuff. I think
that
that's
was
what
very
he's
strategic.
right. I think that's what he's doing. Why are others saying the trial has been moved from October 2nd to November 9th? Can I check? I will after this, CB. I've not heard that yet, so I will check. I'm sure there's going to be continuances out the ass, guys. You got to understand that. They're going to continue this. The actual trial is probably not going to happen until 2024, 25. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I know that I check the Idaho state, whatever the hell this page is, all the time, and there's nothing about anything being changed. I have not received a Vine link update, but I will go look at it right now.
Rose, yes, I will. If you give it to me, of course. Okay. Again, based on numerous interviews conducted by MPD, ISP, FBI agents as well, review my evidence, I have learned the following: that on the evening of November 12th of 2022, Chapin Kernoodle were seen by BF at the Sigma Chi house on the University of Idaho campus, blah, 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 from approximately 9 p.m. BF also stated that Chapin did not live in the King Road house, but was a guest of Kernoodle. Goncalves and Mogan were at a local bar, Corner Club in Moscow. Goncalves and Mogan can be seen on footage provided by, we know all that, club between 10 p.m. at approximately 1:30 a.m. Goncalves and Mogan can be seen, food truck, grub truck, blah, 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 blah. Twitch is available, right, which you can't see that anymore either. Goncalves and Mogan approximately 1:56 a.m. from downtown in front of the grub truck. DM and BF both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were home at home by 2 a.m. and asleep. That I don't believe. Or at least in their rooms by approximately 4. I don't believe that either. This is with the exception of Kernoodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Now, stop for a minute. If they were all in their rooms, including Dylan and Bethany, okay, how the hell did she know about the DoorDash delivery? That's been a problem for me from the beginning. After the first time I read this, how would you know that she got a DoorDash? Because you don't get, you're told about the DoorDash that it's there by getting an indicator on your phone.
Well, no, the person could have knocked on the door, rang the doorbell.
This was supposed to be a transaction free.
We don't know that though.
That's what it was said that it was, wasn't it?
Not that I remember. No, I don't remember that detail ever being verified. We've never seen a screenshot of a receipt or anything like that. Just that something was delivered at 4. And I know that even if you do like a no contact thing, people will still knock or ring the doorbell.
Oh, okay. Well, how does she know
Or
that it was
even headlights?
But again, how do you know that that's DoorDash? Is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, yeah, for them to have known that, but
right.
Did they state that they said that they knew that it was DoorDash?
It says right here. It says except for Kernoodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m.
Well, yeah, but that's just saying that she got the order. So she would have still like been in her room though. And besides walking to the door to get the food, I mean, if they were eating in the room and that's where they were found, but then again, you even mentioned maybe they weren't originally in there, that maybe that's just where they landed, really.
Well, the only reason why I was reading it like that is because it says that DM and BF both made statements during interviews that indicated that the occupants of the residence were home by 2 and asleep, or at least in their rooms by approximately 4. This is with the exception of Kernoodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence. So what I'm stating is, did that information come from the statements from BF and DM, or is that what the police are saying the exception came from? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
It's probably what the cops are putting in here after the fact. I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't really know what these girls really told the cops.
right,
So,
right.
I mean,
Well,
they
we
could have
know that
easily
now.
just been like, I mean, they saw headlights maybe, but they didn't know, or I don't know, maybe she would have like said, "Hey, I'm ordering DoorDash. Anybody want anything?" I mean, we don't really know how big the order was. There's so much detail here that we don't have any idea about. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Hold on, Nelly. I'm sorry. I didn't even realize that. Uh, 1 second. Thank you, True Crime Buff. I appreciate that. And True Crime Buff says that it's in the case summary part about the date change. Okay. I guess we'll have to look at that. And Nelly, I'm going back. I'm sorry if I missed it. It might have been when I jumped up to add more fluid to my cup. I'm still looking and I don't see it, Nelly. My apologies. My apologies. My apologies.
Okay, I just pulled up Vine link.
Okay.
So let's see here. Whoa, bro.
What? What?
So it says that the trial is scheduled for November 9th, and there's
Oh,
nothing
really?
prior to that. Yeah, there's nothing prior to that. But this is the problem that I have with VineLink though, because whenever there's like schedule changes, it'll like it like picks and choose how it wants to actually give you the date. Whether
Yeah.
it's the last day of the week or the last date of the entire period or what. And I know that the original was like 10/2 to like 11/12, I think it was. So let me look at the case summary sheet, because that's where they said it was. That just means that the public one hasn't been released by, Fry's wife yet.
Right. I don't see it there, Nelly, but I hit the catch thing anyway. Thank you very much. Can you show Nelly B super chat? I can't find it in here, guys. Did it show up? I don't remember seeing it. Okay, that's the Vine link thing. All right. Hold on. Let me
So
find
you could
this.
see it yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Let's see. Where's the bottom of this thing?
It didn't come up. It didn't show up in here, Nelly.
Yeah, no, on the case summary page, it still states that jury trial starts 10/2/23.
So what's the November 9th thing then?
I have no idea. They might release something later, or it might just be like the middle date, but that's not even true either. Okay. So when it shows on the case summary at the very bottom where it says 10/2/23, where the jury starts, it has it in like week sections, and the very last week session is 11/6 through 11/9 of 23. So all that is them giving us just the very last date that the court case is supposed to be being held. There's no change.
Okay. You guys are still getting static, even though the phone's not anywhere near it.
Oh, I don't hear static at all.
Somebody said they were getting static, but I'm sorry, guys. Unless that was from earlier. My apologies. Either way. Sophie was saying it's strange to me. They supposedly got home at 1:35. Xana ordered food at 4. When I was drunk, got home, I ate immediately. I mean, yeah. I feel that way too, but I mean, people are different. Who knows? Maybe there was a conversation or whatever that went on for. I don't know. That's weird. That is a little weird. I mean, typically at 4 a.m. you're going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you, Van Life. That is Jules.
Yeah,
Van
they
Life.
were home for like 2 hours before the food got there.
Right. I never thought of that before. That's a little odd. Exactly is an odd time. Crossroads says pre-ordered. I'm not sure. That is very weird though. Now that I think of it, why would I even?
Well, I know that whenever I did my DoorDash video, I went on DoorDash myself and tried to like create an order like it was going to go to King Road, and I had set it to deliver on a Sunday morning between 4 and 4:20, and it told me it was only going to be like a 35-minute delivery time.
Right. Amy's saying 2:30 a.m. ordered for a 4 a.m. delivery. You can do that. And there's also it could have been that they didn't have a driver available. And that's possible too, but we don't know. Paladin, good to have you here, bro. It says, all things considered, someone is lying about this narrative. I mean, honestly, at this point, it does definitely look that way. You know, I hate to say that, but we have looked at it in every way, shape that we can to try to. I've tried to believe this narrative, folks. I think you have at some point too, haven't you?
I mean, yeah, I have, like I've mentioned, my like 180 theories here.
Right.
And one of the 180 theory is that he is doing this for a reason. He's trying to prove a point. He's
Right.
trying to there's certain things he set up in certain ways because they didn't take his advice on wanting to get on board with cloud-based forensics, and he has done some mastermind crazy crap, and he's right where he wants to be because he's literally trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
Or we don't know what the hell's actually going on, and he maybe just kind of knows what's going on. But for him to state Bethany can exonerate me, basically, because in the definition of exculpatory evidence is to exonerate. I don't know. That's what's so. If just one piece of this, if just one piece actually fit,
Yeah.
then maybe
that's
I
it.
could lean one way or the other. But at this point, I am more on the. They got the wrong guy, or he's a minuscule part of this situation, but I don't see someone as smart as he seems to be being a minuscule part of any damn thing, honestly. And I know that people are like, okay, well, maybe he wasn't as smart as, whatever. Okay, well, apparently, let's go back to what, Bullhorn Betty apparently releases. She had the emails between the professors and the people at the internship, and he was deemed as the top exceptional smart as hell, and there's nobody better in like a list of 3 people. That wouldn't have been a common thing that everyone that has taught him has stated, and pretty much everyone that has known him talks about how smart he is and how he knows he's the smartest guy in the room. Why would someone so smart make all these mistakes unless he did it on purpose to prove a point? That's where my one theory goes. But then we have all of this and nothing fits. Nothing.
Not even a little bit of it.
He's either that good to where he did it this well to where there's nothing we can connect for real, or what? Like, it's either one or the other.
I can't believe that. And I understand where you're coming from, Chick Antique. I wanted to go off of the PCA and just leave it what it is. My conscience won't let me do that. I can't. It's just I can't, because it's so screwed up and it's so backwards and it's so wrong that I just can't. I really tried to force myself. Me and Mama Bear had this conversation. I tried to force myself to believe the narrative that we have been looking at in our faces from the moment they set it up, and it drove me nuts. I told my wife one day, I said, you know what? That's it. I can't. It's stupid. I'm gonna look like a jackass for believing this, and I just can't believe it.
Yeah, because normally when the cops give you something, it's not this difficult to try to find where they're getting the information from, to see the puzzle pieces that they see, even with the little bit that the public is allowed to know. Usually there's something that makes sense. They can't give us one thing. Nothing.
No, because everything they give us, when we look at it,
makes no sense.
We look at something that makes it wrong, or it doesn't make sense, or it's like, it's just bullshit. I'm sorry. It's all bullshit. I'm sorry. Or
you can't connect it to anything else.
That makes any sense. Right.
Yeah, you can't make it fit into the entire situation. It just doesn't makes absolutely no sense.
Every time we look at this, I'll sit back and go, okay, guys, make this make sense to me, because it don't, and we have to move on to some other way now. And it still doesn't make any sense. So again, I've been on the fence. I don't want to sit here and say, well, I've been preaching that Brian needs to be treated as if he's innocent until proven guilty, because that's what the Constitution says. And that's what we're supposed to do. That's what it's all about. But nobody's done that for the most part on the people that are on the whole hang Brian side. Okay.
Well, can I play devil's advocate to that?
Please do. Please do.
Okay. So yes, in this situation, definitely. But you notice that whenever we have like a parent that kills their child, they're guilty and no one gives a damn about anything else. Look at Leilani. I mean, obviously she's a piece of crap, but everyone had her triggered from the day that it happened. And that happens in a lot of these cases. Casey Anthony, from the day everyone knew she was full of it.
Yep.
So, I mean, it does, like, the way that the mass brain works is interesting. But those cases we could find things that made sense. We found past CPS cases. We found the negligence. We found the drug use. We found all the proof. There's nothing like that in these
Right.
whatsoever. And there's more people willing to put him on death row than people that would be doing the same thing in cases where stuff makes sense, simply because of the narrative that mainstream is putting out to make it as Ted Bundy-ish, BTK-ish as they possibly can. But none of the prerequisites are there, in my opinion. I don't find it.
No, well, you're absolutely right. Just like since you went back like that, when Kylie Rodney's case, Sammy Smith, everybody had her guilty immediately too. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but there were reasons for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was reasons for that. That's what I'm saying, and that's what you're saying. There aren't any reasons for us to say we all went looking for reasons for Brian Koberger to be guilty on this, and we really can't find them.
Yeah, we
And
really can't.
That's what's bothered me about this from the beginning. I really can't find them.
And the
Now,
only thing that his behaviors after the fact tells me is that he definitely knows what happened and knows that for some reason he needed to be careful. But that still does not tell me that he did this. I don't see how somebody like him could do this to 4 people in the middle of the night on 3 different floors, because regardless, it's a 3-story house, in like 5 freaking minutes.
right.
No,
Right.
bro. It's impossible.
No, and what I'm waiting for is any blood evidence, DNA of any form to come back from the car, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well,
I
and there was nothing that told me they took any biological evidence out of that car. And I was like, okay, so y'all want to say, oh, it's got to be in the car. It's got to be in the car. Well, why would there be 2 different lists? Why would we get a list that doesn't show any biological evidence, no blood, no nothing like that, and then there actually be blood and stuff in the car? Why wouldn't they release as something that made him look more guilty?
I agree. It doesn't make any sense. And why would they? I mean, this is just I just don't understand. I don't understand. And it as much as I don't want to say this out loud, it at this point I'm really leaning in the direction of some form of a cover up of some sort. I don't like saying that kind of stuff, okay? I even tried to hide that by saying, well, they just made mistakes. Moscow made mistakes. They did this, they did that. But at this point, guys, how many mistakes can you make? I'm really leaning at that cover up scenario, as much as I don't want to do that. I'm not that guy. I'm not somebody that is all about the conspiracy, the rabbit hole, this. I don't want to do that. They're not giving us a choice, you guys. At least me. That's how I feel.
Well, but the question is, what are they covering up? Are they covering up their involvement in the situation itself, or are they covering up their horrible investigation that they did?
Well,
I almost feel like they know that they messed up this investigation, and that's what they're trying to cover up.
That's where I'm at. But I'll say this too. First of all, Amy, I didn't mean to miss that. I didn't. I went back. I put it up for a second, but then we started talking. It says DD for timeline, but had already been alive. What do you mean by DD?
DoorDash was used as a timeline discrepancy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's a popular theory.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. I appreciate that very much. But here's the thing. I feel like, yes, they're covering up the fact that they screwed up this investigation in a horrible way. But I'm almost wondering now, because I still feel so strongly that there's drugs involved in this, and that the drugs are the center of this. And I'm not saying that they're trafficking, that the police are trafficking. I'm not saying that at all. But I almost wonder if they're just looking the other direction at the trafficking that's going on. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, they look the other direction for every damn thing else over there.
That's what I mean. And that's what I'm saying, is that, like, not saying that they're here doing it themselves, but it's like, okay, we know that this is happening over here. We're going to do this while you do what you're doing. Just keep us out of it. It's kind of like that's how it feels to me, along with covering up the fact that they screwed up this investigation from the very moment it started.
I mean, yeah, because we've got, like we've mentioned, the gap with the call and then the 4-hour gap after first responders and detectives. There's literally room for so much to have been done by multiple groups for multiple reasons, possibly. Like, this could be, I almost wanted to start my last video with, you know what Shrek says about ogres being like onions because they have layers?
They have
Criminal
layers, yeah.
cases are like onions. Yeah, this could be so many different layers of crazy stuff. And that's why
Right.
we're so confused.
Well, and then, I watched Lana yesterday. She had a video out that made a lot of sense. I don't know if you caught, I think you were in there when I was in there. Where she was talking about
Yeah, a
what
little of it. Yeah.
Fry had said about the phone call and saying how he said he wished that they had made the phone call sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lana got deep with that, okay? And I didn't catch it at first. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, what the hell is she talking about? And then it made sense. Almost as if to say, I mean, she had to explain it like 5 different ways for it to come out to make it sound right to herself, I think. But I know what she was trying to say, I think. Not that the way she explained it was that he said that he wishes they would have made the call sooner, as if to say that he knew that the call needed to be made, but wasn't made. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous to
No,
say.
but no. That goes back to exactly everything that we've been talking about how people knew before the cops did. This goes back to that so-called 8:30 call outside for the first time that let people outside of that home know what was going on. That's telling us that the cops definitely know that call should have been made around 8 or 8:30 in the morning at the latest.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that makes total sense.
She pulled up the whole football thing where they start watching football. Where they're going to call us is we're at around 10. Okay. Yeah. What was going on? And then we go back here and at this and talk about the whole processing of the scene. For 4 hours, they were doing nothing with that too. So, like, this whole thing, I want to know what the hell was going on. What were all these people doing? Even law enforcement, what the hell were they doing? You know what I mean? It's like, what?
For 4 hours. How many people
4
were
hours.
actually in that house whenever first responders got there that enlisted 4 hours of something before the detective showed up? And why? Why do you get a call for a freaking quadruple homicide and you take 4 hours to get to the scene?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
100%. I absolutely agree. Thank you, Jeff, once again. If it's not Brian, what is it that made them choose Brian to pin this crime on? I believe they have their guy. My mind is open. Here's the thing, Jeff. This is hard. Okay. I've looked at this in every angle. You guys know I spend time on this. This is like my life now. The only scenario I could come up with, okay, if we're going to go in that direction, is that I told you guys my theory that they were hanging out in the kitchen, blah, 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 whatever. I feel like Kaylee may have hooked up. Well, let me use a better word because that means something different these days.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying either. May have befriended Brian in a sense from possibly, and this is just a scenario, folks. This is a what if. Nothing about this is true. This is all very alleged and all that, okay? But what if, we know that Maddie worked at the Greek, okay? We know that Xana worked at the Greek. I can see Kaylee hanging out there with her friend, nothing to do at some time, just hanging out, whatever. Maybe Brian was in there. That they had vegan food in there. It was probably the only place around that had vegan food. He's vegan. Maybe they ran into each other in there. Maybe Brian hears her talking to Maddie about something. Maybe he's interested because of his background, his educational background, and they start talking. Okay. He's like, oh, you can handle it this way, or you can do this or that, or, this is illegal. And, this is what's going on. And everybody knows that she was kind of like we are, sleuthy. She was into that stuff. Maybe they started talking about something and he was trying to help her with something. Okay. Well, then whatever the real reasoning behind this is came around, and maybe these people caught on to the fact that he was being schmoozy and nosy and trying to figure something out and killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's handle the situation and let's put it on this guy who was, trying to flip this whole thing open. This is a huge maybe, by the way. And purely alleged, 110,000% speculation. I'm just saying, I could almost see that in a sense, but we don't have any kind of proof of that. You know what I mean?
CL, that's not true. Because after Brian was arrested, Steve Gonsalves came out on TV and said that after they got the arrest done and they had the name, they went back and they thought they found a connection, but then that's the last time they talked for a long time.
Exactly. That has been said by him, and
Just
then
came right out of Steve's mouth.
then it disappeared. So that and which is exactly where I put that together at. Okay. And it made me, yeah, I didn't mean hooking up. Like, that's why I stopped it immediately. Not hooking up that way. Like I said, back in the day, that used to mean something else, like hanging out. Okay. Van Life says, I agree 100% with, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I don't expect anybody to. This is just me trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense and coming up with something that might be kind of wild, okay, to think about. But
you know, I can actually kind of play on your theory, bro.
I mean,
I can. Okay, so you know how he tried to get into the thing for cloud-based forensics, right? Okay, so
yes.
What if you could? And again, guys, this is just us talking. Okay. So what if you could pair that with the drug scenario? Okay, Maddie found out about the drug thing. Kaylee knows about the drug thing. They didn't like the drug thing. Dylan and Bethany might have something to do with the drug thing. Hence the silence for so long and all the drama. Okay. So maybe if Kaylee was really all this sleuthy, and again, this is, kind of an imaginative thought. What if he was helping them kind of get evidence on this drug thing going on? And what if he knew about what happened because he heard it all happen in real time because he had some sort of surveillance thing going on? And maybe that's why he showed back up over there, because he heard what was going on, saw what was going on, showed up at 9 o'clock in the morning based on the PCA. I'm not going off of what Dave's little friend told him. I'm going on based off the PCA. And he could have easily gone into that house to take a look himself, touch DNA transfer that way. Maybe he touched Maddie to make sure she was alive or dead. I don't know. Who knows? But it could play into that. I can definitely see a scenario where that could be plausible, especially with what we heard from Steve. It's definitely possible.
That's exactly what my thoughts were. You know what I mean? And here's another little piece to add to that. We all know how bad, obviously, that he wanted to do what he wanted to do for a living or get involved in it. Okay. 10 years, guys, is a long time to go to school to not want to do something with it. So what better way to impress people than to blow the roof off of this scenario here?
Right. What better way to prove that they were stupid for not accepting him for the internship than to blow the top off of something? Yeah, I mean, I've heard that theory quite a few times, but listening, like having the conversation about it like this, you put all of his smarts together, everything together about what he knows. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying, folks. And I could be and probably am very much wrong. But damn it, with what we have coming at us, you got to make something out of it sometimes, Whether this might just be story time with Dago, and I'm okay with that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. End of story. I can't make nothing else work in my mind right now. Okay. It's just, I really can't.
But then you also need to go back to what Dateline said. Now, I know we have our issues with Dateline, but remember, they're the one mainstream media that are stating that there's no proof that he was stalking them on social media. They're the one mainstream media stating that there's stuff like the geolocating and the data and all the background crap that Brian would know how to do because of what he wanted to do with cloud-based forensics. Right. There might be a real reason why that is being, I don't know why not talked about more. It is interesting that Dateline is going against the grain with that, along with trying to still state he's an incel. I don't really think they knew what the hell they were doing. I think they were just putting a bunch of stuff together. But it's strange to me that they're a big one, and they're like, no, our people are telling us he wasn't stalking them on social media, but he could have been doing this. Okay, well, that leads back into what this possibility could be.
Right. I mean, and if you think about the things that Kim has said, that's where part of this came from with me. Kim and Dave and all the other things that were said, if you take little bits and pieces of all this stuff and you throw it into a blender, hit the button, you come out with what I had, okay? Because I cannot believe anything else Nothing else makes it. Like we said, nothing fits together. I definitely don't believe there's the incel scenario at all. Um, I just don't. Okay, I watched the interviews with the girls and the people that knew Brian that were friends of his. They got emotional about this, guys. What's her name? The dark
There
haired
was
girl.
2 of them. Yeah, there was 2 of them that were like, "This doesn't make sense."
It's not
And
Brian.
one of
And the
them
one
started
girl,
crying. I remember
yeah,
that.
she started crying and said, "Where did we go wrong? How did we not see this?" Well, because it's not who he is. That's why you didn't see it, because it's not him. That's not who he is. The kid, just because you were a heroin addict does not make you a murderer, does not make you a bad person. Okay, you had a problem with drugs. End of story. And damn it, the dude really kind of like flipped himself and did something important. He got off of heroin and he went to college for 10 effing years, folks. Nobody can do a lot of what he did. Like he got a master's degree in psychology. Damn. He was working on a PhD in criminal forensics or whatever the hell it was. Criminology. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like that's not easy, guys. Jules went to college for that kind of stuff, and she'll tell you it's not easy. Okay, you can't be a drug addict, in my opinion, stuck on heroin and be able to make it through doing that kind of thing. I'm just
No,
saying,
not at the top of your class. Hell no, you can't.
no way in hell. Okay,
Being recommended for all these things and being literally your head blown up constantly because of how people, are seeing the way that
right,
you are approaching
right.
things. No. Mm-mm.
And then after watching the traffic stop with the female cop, that changed my mind a little bit more. And just hearing the interviews about people that are close to him or were close to him or whatever. Brian's different, yes. Okay, he's different. Different doesn't mean bad, folks.
Mm-mm.
Okay, different doesn't mean murderous. Different doesn't mean serial killer. Okay, different doesn't mean a stalker. Different doesn't mean an SA person, or you know what we can't say on here, but we'll piss on it, a rapist. Okay, it doesn't mean any of that stuff. It just means you're different. He went through he's smart. Okay, that's one thing. I wouldn't put it past him being Asperger's or borderline autistic or something like that.
Yeah, that's
okay?
what I think too.
Right. I have a child that's borderline autistic. I see certain things that make it look like, when you've been treated like how a certain way by people for so long, the look that everybody's saying is in his eyes. It could just be because of how he's been treated his whole life. He doesn't trust people. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean these things is all I'm saying. Again, I'm not trying to become best friends with Brian Koberger. I'm not saying that Brian didn't do this. All I'm saying is we have to look at everything, not just what they want us to look at. Okay? Because this, we don't see nothing. And it's stupid what we're seeing. And I don't agree with it. So,
yeah, and I don't see someone who has devoted a decade to this waiting until after they left their apartment to turn off their damn cell phone.
nope.
You made the mistake the second you walked out of your apartment. What the hell did you spend a decade doing? No, that's no.
It's a good point, Alyssa. He's also an aeronautic engineer. I forgot about that. I can't agree with it, guys. That's all I'm saying. And everything else that we've looked at with this stuff, it just doesn't fit. I'm sorry. It just doesn't fit. Thank you, CC. Good to see you, CC. It's the most so-called normal that do such things that we're getting caught because they have family and kids, right? Drug is a drug. Addicts have their drug of choice. Certainly, opiates cause specific detox withdrawal, as does it. Listen, Heather. I think I know what you're saying. I can't see this kid being on any kind of drugs and being able to do what he was doing to get through his college career.
Well,
maybe Adderall or something, but
yeah. But I mean, we also have to consider the fact that his reviews weren't going too well.
No, I mean, I get that too.
Like I could see, but that was one of the other things too. There there was a post that was posted anonymously, and I've had this forever. I just never talked about it, but people have mentioned it recently. And you can tell it's one of his sisters from the verbiage that she used because she didn't correct what she was putting in there.
Right.
But it's about him being back on something, but not heroin. It was something else. I think cocaine, maybe.
Maybe, but
And he was over there doing the drug, and the knife was used to cut it, which is a little ridiculous. I don't know anybody who would have cut something with that big of a knife.
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but him touching the button, maybe if it was like on the person, or the person shook his hand and then touched the sheath himself, like that's where I was getting that from. Like he could have just been in that area, hence the GPS tracking. He was over there getting whatever he was getting. I mean, it could have been pills, it could have been something else, could have been illegal Adderall. We don't know if that's the case. But if he was just in that area, for that situation, and then that person that he did this with, coked up and stupid, went into the house and did something crazy, that was again another explanation for the touch DNA. So there's actually quite a few different scenarios that could happen here, but it really just all depends on what's an actual fact, because until we get true facts, we really cannot put anything together. It's all a bunch of, this is a possibility if, this is a possibility if. Well, I'm really just tired of the ifs. Like, they need to just give us something concrete here already.
I agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree. It just doesn't. I don't know. I just don't know. I'll be honest with you. Somebody else said it too. I'm completely annoyed about the fact that we have to wait until God knows when to make this make sense.
Yeah, that's what's going to be insane. Because I mean, things are already. It's already so difficult to comprehend what they're seeing, because we don't agree with what they're seeing, and then to have to just wait longer. There's going to be all kinds of just crazy stuff happening because of the boredom that's going to come with.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Let me read the last part of this and tell you what I don't agree with, and I'll drop this down, and then we can just talk the rest of this out and be done for today. But this part did bug me a little bit. Well, of course, the 4 a.m. to 4:25 a.m. I've had issues with, and we know you have, and I've had issues with it because of what you figured out. So there's that. Then during the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a latent shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene. Why was that not? Why the second processing, and I don't even understand that. Okay. By the ISP forensic team by first using presumptive blood tests and then amino black. Was the shoe print that weak?
Well, what's the most disgusting part is they both misspelled this. Didn't even care to.
Yeah, I know.
I don't. That's my big question too, because we have that still 4-hour gap between the first responders and the detectives and ISP getting there.
Right.
So what I want to know here, though, is the date of this, because it
Mm-hmm.
says the second processing. So I'm going to guess it would have just been the very next day if they were trying to actually get things done.
Well, we hope, but it took 9 days to process this entire scene.
Yeah, see, that's the biggest. That's one of the other problems.
Whose shoe print was this? What are the odds that this was somebody? I mean, we do know how many people were possibly at that house before police were called.
Yeah, it could have literally been anybody's, honestly.
Anybody. And I looked at multiple pictures, guys. Understand this. Do you know how many people at the university don't wear Vans? Not many.
Yeah, not many.
They mostly even the girls wear Vans. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have been anybody. That could have been anybody at all. And I have a problem with that stupid footprint. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I had some people commenting on this, why does it say that there was just one outside of her door? Why wouldn't it have been 2 steps? It almost is did someone just take a shoe and make a print? Because why wouldn't it be actually walking steps? Why would there be nothing? Then all of a sudden, here's this latent.
They decide to hop on their foot, right?
Yeah, it is a little weird. It's weird.
Dumb. It's just dumb.
I mean, honestly, it's almost as if more like Dylan one stepping out of her door and then stepping back in. It doesn't really seem like somebody who walked past the doorway.
Exactly. 100%. Just one footprint, and then she backed up. Well, okay. Was she stepping out to see if they were all gone? That's what that tells me. And there's other things that make me believe that too. That she went in, locked her door, and stayed in there the rest of it for 8 hours, and then called. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And I told you guys, we went through the house. We all know, we have to know that they heard everything, and probably saw quite a bit of it too. But I can guarantee you, at the very least, they heard everything. When I went through that house and did the virtual tour, I said, okay, that there's no carpet in there. There's no sound barriers in that house whatsoever. The walls are 1/4 inch thick drywall and faux wood floors, which is a vinyl, like vinyl, whatever the hell that's called, linoleum type stuff, right? And I said, if you drop a quarter in that house, you're going to hear it throughout that house, let alone slam, bang, scream, yell, whatever the hell was going on. So they heard everything, in my opinion. I don't care what anybody tells me. They heard it all. Somebody had said maybe they were wearing headphones doing this. No. I don't believe that either. Okay. Then we hear that they were locked in the same room together. Here's my thing. If they saw somebody coming, she opened her door 3 times. Well, I think that if that's even true, that she was doing that to check to see if these people were gone yet. Okay. Are they still here? Okay. They're still here. She checked 2 other times. Maybe, okay. That time they're gone. I can almost guarantee you that there was no sitting in your room for 8 hours. Okay.
No.
They went out into that house and looked around, folks. They had to.
They had to have.
Because first of all, hearing all that noise, I would do it. I don't care if I know just about anybody would. And then the smells that there had to have been could not have kept somebody in that room for 8 hours, guys. They went out and almost immediately, I'm going to guarantee you, and looked around and said, oh my God, this is worse than, if they could. I'm not going to get into they could be involved thing, but I'm just saying. And then people were called. Okay. That's why I'd love to see those phones.
Yeah, because like we've mentioned this additional 5 minutes. Why are they giving us the timeline based off of the surviving roommates' phones? What were they doing on their phones up until 4:25, or is 4:25 whenever the first call actually left the house?
Yep, that's what I'm thinking right there.
Because why would they stop it there? What would be the reason other than a timestamp of some sort of message leaving and that being where the contamination started?
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. And the smell, somebody just asked me the smell of Heather Fitzgerald. Listen, I did this for 17 years. I've been on way smaller scenarios. Never have I ever been on the scene of a quadruple homicide like that. Okay. One person. I've been on scenes where there's 1, 2 people, maybe, blah, blah, blah. There's a horrendous smell that comes from it, Heather. And I mean, 4 people, if that sat there for 8 hours like that, you couldn't stand that. Hence the reason, if you go back and look at some of the pictures and the videos, they're wearing Tyvek suits in there, okay? Because it's contamination, folks. That's a lot of blood, blah, 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 so on and so forth. It smells. That's why they're wearing masks like that. It smells that bad, okay? So I don't believe that. I don't believe any of that.
It's been so confusing to me about how they're unable to tell us, or at least before his arrest, unable to tell us the direction the person left. Because I don't see how there couldn't have been a trail of steps out of whatever exit was taken with as much blood was in that house. Now, I know people are like, okay, well, maybe booties, which actually could sort of make a little bit of sense if there was like some sort of weird footprint that was left or shoe print that was left, and it was just barely enough because maybe there was a booty and there maybe just a little bit of like wetness maybe transferred from the booty to the bottom of the shoe.
Right.
But where's all the stuff that was taken off of him then?
Exactly.
There's just way too many questions.
I just that's where I'm at with this, you guys. I cannot go any further with it. I mean, I can go further with it, and we will, but there's not anything else I can see it being. That's a good point, Rose. That's what I'm saying. Mudman says, why wouldn't they let EMS into the scene? Another version of why. All these things add up to what the H. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's almost like they knew already that it had been so many hours, there was no point in checking for death. Like they knew automatically on first arrival that there's just no point because it's happened hours and hours away.
They don't have that right though. They still have to.
That's what it tells me.
Right. You're absolutely right. That's what they did. That is exactly what they did.
But they should have known, even though like it doesn't matter. There still should have been protocols put in place. EMS should have still went in, checked everybody's pulse, took notes on everything, and written down what they're calling it, because they would have to call it then. It would have obviously been corrected later by the coroner. But I'm really curious as to the difference in the first coroner's reports versus this lady from Spokane, because I'm wondering if the times of death are different and we just don't know because we're not being shown anything.
Well, let me throw something at you real quick, Jules. Just out of, since we're already kind of in a rabbit hole, okay? Just out of curiosity, your opinion, I should say, because I've been all over the place with this. What's it titled, Canadian? Because I got thousands of emails, and I don't see anything with Canadian on it. So, what if? And this is a big what if. What if these kids were one or more of them were not deceased yet?
Yeah, I've said that. I think Xana would have maybe been saved, at the least.
Or
by
Ethan.
what we're being told. Well, I mean, yeah, but with what we're being told, Mrs. I hear whimpers, okay? Her crying from Xana's room, okay? If she'd have called 911 then and there, it's a very great possibility Xana would be alive to actually point the finger at whoever actually did this.
Somebody or multiple people, couple people, right? You know what I mean?
At the very least, I feel like Xana, since according to this, we're hearing that her voice and crying was being heard. So
right, and then I've had anonymous comments sent to me from people I don't know that said that they have issues with the fact that people came over before 911 was called, that they believe that there's a grand possibility that somebody could have still been alive and that somebody went in there and finished it. And it's like, well, okay. I don't like to think that kind of thing, but
I mean, getting that off of the I'm here to help you comment?
Well, maybe, you know what I mean? But it just makes you think. It makes you think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It definitely makes you think. And I didn't think that at first. You know, and then it's like, well, wait a minute. Wow, why would that be so outlandish? It wouldn't be, you know? That hence the reason why people probably did come over way earlier than we think they did. I'm going to go with 6 or 7 a.m., if not sooner. I'm going to go with like right after this happened.
Yeah.
You know, that people were there already. And it just bugs me. Oh, finally. Yeah, we found it, Canadian.
Yeah. No, it's not changed. VineLink is showing the very last date that the court is supposed to be in session. If you pull up the case summary on the official website and go all the way down to the very bottom, it gives you a list of separated weeks. And the very last one ends on 11/9. So no, the dates haven't been changed. They've just given it a thing.
That's what I was saying, Evie. Here's my thing, guys, and I thought this a long time ago. If Dylan or Bethany or whoever, if this would have happened between 4 and 4:25, like they said, and either one of them would have heard everything like we know they did and picked up the phone and called 911, we saw how fast police can respond to that house. They called 911 at 11:56. It says in the PCA that they were there by 11:58. That's 2 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, just imagine if the cops were at the Banfield when the 911 call was made.
Which they very likely could have been very close to it because they were all over that campus all night, right? I know one of the victims probably, they said that she wouldn't have made it regardless. Okay, but we don't know about the other 3. And if EMS would have showed up when that call went out, if it would have been immediately, they all could have very possibly been saved, and we would know the answer to these questions that we have. But it almost seems like it was purposely done in a sense. Let's wait until we know for a fact. You know what? I know that sounds crazy. Yeah. It sounds crazy, guys. But at this point, that's a long period of time. And it's like, just wait. And that way we know for a fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, 'cause
I hate saying that, but damn.
you don't have really any option right now but to ask questions because the
Right.
PCA is giving it until 425 based off the roommates' phones. Okay, but why? Was it them messaging each other about, hey, is this done and over with? Or what was the reason? And then if it was that they knew what was going on at 425 in order for there to be a timestamp for some reason, that means that still up to like, what is the rumor? 8:30 that the call actually started going out to the sororities. So that's a 4-hour gap there, then another 4-hour gap there, and then another freaking 4-hour gap there. Why?
I agree. There's no logical reason behind that. None.
None of it.
Absolutely not one.
And something would have to be on the roommates' phones pertaining to the exact situation for them to be placing it per roommates' phones at 425 in time of incident. There's a reason. There's something on their phone specifically. It's not just being made up for no reason.
Agreed. I agree. 100%. Has to stop it in Banfield background been verified? Not yet. Not yet at all. I want to see body cams. I want to see body cams also, by the way, from the initial officers that responded, the first three, Gunderson, Nunez, and Smith. I want to see their body cam footage of them going into that house. And don't tell me that doesn't exist because it has to. Okay.
They told us already in the PCA it exists. That's how they found out about the dog. So it's there.
Well, at least Nunez is.
Well,
doesn't say anything about anybody else, which is a problem for me too. So
yeah, that's true.
Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for today. Jules, thank you for being up here with me today. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem.
And there's going to be more, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. I want to find things to make me understand this, and I will continue digging. We have other things. By the way, I watched Sleuthy. Did you see Sleuthy's video from Friday?
Maybe
about the red car and
I found it interesting, but I also know that the neighborhood that person is talking about is not a neighbor to this King Road. It's a trailer park that's about a 10-minute walk away from King Road. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know if it would really be relevant or not. Plus, on top of that, when I was going back and listening to it, the mom said something about how they were out there early in the morning and it was so cold, but then she says it was actually more around noon whenever her dude came home from lunch, which is the same exact time that the cops were like showing up over on King Road. So I don't really think it has anything to do with anything. I don't get that vibe. I find it more suspicious how JLR got that recording in the first place than I do what the woman said on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was my point. Right.
And then he notices in it, she's talking about how she's going to sue him. So he just puts it out there like, what is happening?
You're right. Right. No, I get it.
Yeah, that's a trailer park that's about a 10 or 12 minute walk away. I don't see it being a thing. Someone could have
get it.
The damn car from drinking the night before, and that's what was being cleaned.
That's it too, because I agree with that one. Thou shalt not kill just posted. Somebody or Amy D said that.
Oh yeah, he's the one that's was in Moscow and got that other information from Jack in the Box about that dude.
Did he get more? Did he put more stuff up?
Yeah, they're saying that he put another video up, something about the locals, I think.
Let me see. Let's see. Locals know crimes have something to do with drugs. College wants the house gone. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I find it interesting that even though Steve Gonzalez came out and said that the university seemed to be caring about the fact that they are wanting it pushed off, that then a couple of days after that interview, Brian Itten verified that the school said that whatever's happening with this case has shit to do with what they're going to do with that house, and it's coming down in the summer regardless. What? Yep. That makes me so mad. That makes me so angry.
I feel like once that video or once that house is down, I think that's it. I just feel like something about that house being torn down is going to destroy.
Well, hello, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful.
It's going to destroy something here. We can review this real quick before I shut this down. Everybody's asking me to play it, so what the heck? I like this guy.
Yeah, I do too.
I really do. I like the fact that he purposely went there. So, might as well support him too. All right, folks, hold on a minute and make sure that you guys get sound and all this fun stuff. Thank you again. Canadian True Crime Court events, 1 event, date, time, November 9th, event, status, scheduled event, type, jury, trial event, location, Latah County, courthouse, 52 Adams Road Courthouse. Thank you very much, True Crime, Canadian True Crime. I appreciate that. Very, very much. Okay, let me make sure you guys have audio so I don't forget, as always. And we'll listen to this and then we'll talk about it for a minute. All right, here we go.
Got to spend some time with their loved ones. I'm finishing up in Moscow and Pullman, but thankfully home is pretty close.
Echo.
Now, I do want to address the Jack in the Box issue because I will be moving
Oh, wait.
forward.
No, it's good now.
It's obvious to me what they are doing and absolutely believe the 3 employees who told me that I was being lied to and actually provided a picture of the driver. To me, that's really hard to beat. So yes, I do know who it is, but that will be for another time. So in today's video, I want to talk about the local aspect of where these crimes occurred because it is very important. Moscow is a small town that relies heavily on the college for its economy. If the university starts losing enrollment, that's really big trouble for the town. So it's a big reason why everything is tight-lipped from the school and why they want to tear down the house. They do not want to be reminded of it. As far as I'm concerned, that house is still a crime scene, and the jury should have access to it to see it for themselves. They did it in the OJ case. I feel they should do it in this one too. But this is what I really wanted to talk to you about. I'll let you know there is a major drug aspect to this case, and people in the area know it, especially people that lived close to the house or were involved and around in there. It has been confirmed that this was a dealer's house, and everybody knew it, even the police. In the body cam footage of the DUI arrest of Emma Bailey, the cops know who she is. That's why they are very nice to her, hoping that she will slip up so they can get to the bigger fish. There's also the very well-known footage of Kaylee and Maddie walking down the street, and Kaylee asking Maddie, "What did you tell Adam?" And Maddie replies, "I told him everything." Then you can hear Jack Showalter say, "They're going to get you for this." Well, who's they? What did she tell Adam? Who would want to get her, and for what reason? Did she spill the beans on Emma and Demetrius and on what was really going on in that house? So could Demetrius possibly have hired some hitman to come out and take Xana out, and everybody else was just unfortunately there? Or is this really just Koberger by himself? I will get into that in tomorrow's video. I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I will see you on the next one. And remember, don't be afraid to ask those hard questions.
Oh, he didn't really say all that much in this one.
No, he didn't. That was quick too. Well, so be it.
Tonight, a bipartisan
that white truck is Payne's, which JS confirmed to be the guy walking with them. I mean, somebody told me that wasn't Jack Showalter. I don't even know at this point. So you're gonna tell me that
are they talking about the one in the video that we just watched? Yeah, that's Jack because he walked up to the truck.
Right.
Same jacket, same everything.
Yep. For sure. So that's it, folks, for today. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. There's more I'm looking at right now. And we'll be looking at the rest of the night. So stay tuned, folks. It ain't over till it's over. Hopefully I'll find something worth something. You guys, thank you so much again, Jules. Thanks for joining me up here today. I appreciate you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Your mind out here doesn't make mine hurt so bad. I'll just put it that way because it does. I promise you that. I hope you have a great rest of your day as well. Everybody else in here, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day.
Bye, you guys.
Thanks again, hon. I appreciate you. And good night from Taiwan. Wow, cool. That's awesome. I appreciate your guys' input, all you guys that send me the emails and everything, so on and so forth. I will be looking at as many of them as I can that I couldn't, guys. Appreciate you guys more than you guys know. Is there a one? What was that? Where'd it go? Is there a door cam showing a video? One-legged man wearing Vans and a mask with bush eyebrows hopping away from the house. If I'm gonna look for it, Paladin, because that that seems to be what we're supposed to be looking for. That's great though. But anyway, guys, I love you guys to death. I appreciate every one of you guys. Anybody that donated to support me, support the channel, I appreciate that as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. Don't forget to love yourselves and to love each other, because you guys are awesome. I will see you all on the other side. You guys have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.